good morning to you. It is the 9th of September. We are starting the second week of the month. Aren't you excited? I mean, I think days are really flying by. Before we know it, we'll probably be in December. But we live a moment at a time. What are the plans you have for this month? Are you ticking off the boxes little by little? Are you working towards your goal? I hope you are. If not, don't worry. We are here to ensure that we kind of keep the fuel going. My name is Stephanie Ayata, and of course, this is Why in the Morning. And I'm not alone. I'm joined by my amazing co-host, Brian Sakwa.
Good morning to you, Steph. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was full of puns. So, pun plus fantastic. Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yes, fantastic. But I'm so glad to be here as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today being a Monday, we are all about good vibes and inshallah. And always interact with us and let us know where you're watching us from. Today, towards the tail end, we'll be talking about matters men's grooming. And we are asking you a question. What are some... Probably this is just, to try and give you razzmatazz on your fashion sense, okay? And this again points out to some of the common mistakes that men make when it comes to their grooming tips, okay? So towards the tail end, we'll be having a conversation with two guests. They've actually maybe in part of their description, they're talking about, the titles range from Mr. and Mr. So it means probably they know so much about fashion. So stick around for that conversation. But also, it was a sad weekend, by the way. Over 21 students that died, Steph, at Hillside Academy in Russia. And I was just reading an update moments ago. It says some of them died while they were receiving treatment in a hospital, around 19 of them. And others are still unknown where they are, and parents are in agony. So it was really a sad weekend, including athlete that is Rebecca Cheptegei, Ugandan Kenyan on Kenyan Ugandan, who was also burnt to death by her lover as well. And then we also had actress Rebecca, I think it's Bwire Ndubi, yeah?
Bwire, yeah.
Yeah, she also passed away. Like, it was really a sad weekend, and then from accidents to accidents to accidents, like just crazy. But anyways, you can find me at Brian Sakwa 1. That's my handle. Good morning, karibu sana.
Yeah. So, Saka, as you've mentioned, those are some of the things that have made news, unfortunately, over the weekend. And the Russia incident stands out as the most heart-wrenching, because we've seen a huge number of young people, students who have died. The number initially was 17, but as you've said, it has risen to 21. Some have succumbed while receiving treatment, and parents are still on search for others. And just our newspaper, that is Citizen, in an interview with one of the parents who chose to remain anonymous, said that the cause of the fire was an electrical fault where a bulb in over one of the students' bed exploded. Kind of exploded. So the fire caught the bed, and because of the nature of the dormitory, because they have wooden beds and they're very close to each other, so the fire spread quickly. So this boy whose bed caught fire was thankfully not in the bed, so he had gone to rush to call the matron, and the matron came running, and of course also alerted the teachers who lived in school. But the fire was spreading very fast, and the nature, I'm looking at how it has been described. I don't know if I can get it. So the dormitory has 3 doors. The main door, another door near the main entrance, and the door behind the section where grade 8 learners sleep. So this is a dormitory that holds students from grade 5 to grade 8.
Right.
This is a dormitory that holds a lot of people, a lot of students. So grade 8 sleep at the farthest end. So it started on this end of the grade 5. So the parents were saying tunaweza taka wasiweke wanafunzi wengi pamoja, bweni ziwe kadhaa. Because one of the topics that we're going to tackle today is on the policies in schools that would prevent fire, because
Yeah.
I'm having a teacher who's coming on board.
Right.
So now reports indicate that the lights are always on throughout the night, but what is also believed to have contributed to the fire spreading fast is the fact that the beds, some made of wood, were closer to each other. The dormitory also had cardboard separating the sleeping areas, so we know, of course, wood makes fire spread faster. So these are
Yeah.
some of the things that need to be looked at. And
Absolutely.
did the government ignore our policy that was there? Because again, Akelo Misori, the Kuppet Secretary General, says that the time has come for Kenyans to rethink the place of boarding schools in this country. The government should spend more time, more resources on the Quality Assurance Directorate to enhance inspection and compliance in schools. So
Yeah.
had the government slacked on this, or are we too relaxed on this?
Right.
And of course, the president declared a 3 days mourning for the victims of the fire.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's an incredible conversation, because it also comes against a backdrop of so much happening in the education sector. Actually, today was to be a university student strike, dubbed the TISA. But thank God they called off the strike yesterday after they came to a consensus and said they're giving the government up to 30 days to ensure they permanently or entirely remove band 4 and 5, and then also consider how to place the rest, because some of the bands were really hard pinching parents. But then as well, I'm just seeing here an update that talks about, still on that one, what you just pointed out, Steph, it says 30 out of 40 sample schools exceeded the number of pupils stated in the registration certificate, with the highest school having an excess of 519 students. That's a huge number in terms of school fire safety preparedness. And 29 schools had classes with more than 45 students, contrary to the regulations. And then audit revealed, this is by the Auditor General, Government's Auditor General, it reveals that 6 schools had triple-decker beds. Ministry of Education only approved double-decker, not triple like the first one, second, and then the third. And then schools also flouted the spacing requirement for pathway space of 2 meters in dormitories. And then 34 boarding schools had a double-decker beds with wrong spacing. Most dormitories were congested. The situation escalated with the government's 100% transition policy. So these are some of the inconsistencies that you said. And then some schools had windows reinforced with metal grills. Some schools had only one door at the dormitory, and the dormitory is required to have at least doors at both ends. So there should be a door on the other side, and then on the other side as well.
Yeah.
To ensure that whenever there's an emergency, at least to facilitate easy escape.
Yeah. So these are some of the things that need to be implemented. And as the representative from Kuppet was saying, that the government now needs to take time to ensure that the Quality Assurance Directorate should enhance inspection and compliance in schools, because some things can be set, but things on ground look quite different, especially when you see a situation where schools are overwhelmed by students again, because you have schools that have, especially public schools, and we know this for sure, and that is the way that the school now copes with such situations. Now they get the triple decker because of space. There's not enough space. They can't afford to build an extra dome and those kind of things. So how can the government come and solve this problem? If they're saying that there needs to be 2 meters apart, then there shouldn't be a triple decker, then what are we saying? Because if that is the case, then let the school accommodate the exact number of students that can fit in that school. But when students are sent to that school and over the expectation, then where are they supposed to be housed? So these are some of the things that need to be looked at to ensure that there is safety of the students. And again, that is not the only incident that happened. It's unfortunate because we also saw Isiolo Girls' School catch fire, and we're not sure of the victims, if they're at all any. And not just that, but I've also seen Njia Boys, which has been
fire yesterday.
The latest, catching fire yesterday, if I'm not wrong. And both of this, we have not been told if they're victims or not, but
Yeah.
this is definitely an area that we need to look
Really sad, yeah. There's
very
somebody who's
sad.
saying what's now happening to our schools. Somebody said we're just coming from, actually it's 70 plus Gen Zs who were shot and killed during the protest, and then it went from accidents to accidents to accidents, and then now the fires, and it's like it's escalating. So maybe it's time to do that prayer days. Is it called the prayer service, the national prayer
breakfast.
Yes, maybe we can do. But then I think there's this, I know you remember it stuff, there's this festival called Rema Fest. I know you must have heard of it,
Yeah.
that had all these preachers. So I was just skimming through TikTok and somebody was saying, kwani hao watu wote walikuja kuomba na hakuna prophet alionyesha hizi vitu zinaenda ku happen. And then there's somebody again who made a video akasema, why is it when it's always about, some of these national prayers and some of these gospel concerts happening, immediately they leave the country, a tragedy happens. And then somebody dated it back to Benny Hinn. A lot were mentioned down there. Somebody even brought in Charlene Ruto's name. Sijui kazi yao ni kwenda kuombea sijui nini. Some of these things keep on cropping up, Steph, and they are really eye-rolling. Eye-rolling incidents, yeah?
There's a lot that goes on TikTok especially, and people make assumptions, which of course I don't believe myself.
But also I'm asking Steph, mbona mtu wa kuona hizi vitu?
It's the connections. But if, again, we go by TikTok and what is there, there's a Kenyan pastor prophet, Teresia. She had earlier in the year said, asked people to pray for students in schools because she was seeing something bad. So in defense, if there was anything, then God had alerted. Yeah, so maybe it might not be the international preachers who came during Rema Fest, but Kenya's own prophetess had mentioned it earlier in the year. But these things, some people get too superstitious, some people get too much to read into things and all that, So
it gets over spiritual and it gets even cultic now.
Yeah, it gets over spiritualized, cultic. To relax, tuombe Mungu as we are. You just pray for the country. Mkienda church, ambia pastor wako, tuombe country yetu. Let's pray for the students. Whatever is happening, we come against it, and that's it.
There's one that shocked me actually. There's one of the ladies. She sat in front of the camera, and akasema she's warning all government officials. And her first one was she's seeing a government official akiwa in the plane and the plane burning in the air. And then at the comment section wakasema hope ni mtu fulani, that hashtag that has been trending. The hashtag, I don't want to mention it. They are saying hopefully ni huyo mtu. And then akaendelea akasema there's another one that he will just be in office. And then I remember she used this line, the author of oxygen will disconnect the oxygen. That's what she said. A very serious lady, by the way. She's an old mama. She's a prophet. And then she finished with a dramatic one. I was like, good Lord, who is this? Who is this? Who is this going? But then she says it's going to be like double state funerals. But Gen Zs are like, it should be somebody, of course you know who they said.
Targeted.
Should burn up there in the plane. But I'm really scared. It scared me. Scared me. Yeah.
I don't even know what to say about it because it's a crazy one. Of course,
until they'll be in the plane and then the plane will come
crashing down. Well,
Lord have mercy. Yeah.
What to say about it? We don't wish anyone any wrong or any harm. We pray and we wait to see. Moving from that, Sakwa, we were talking about the late Winnie Were, who had passed on. She was a sensation, and she was an actress. She was loved by a lot of people. She was one of the actresses of Sultana, one of the popular programs that Kenyan local programs that ran. So she was quite the sensation. And throughout her cancer journey, she had breast cancer. Throughout her cancer journey, she has given hope to many who have cancer patients. by her story, by her strength, you know, coming out to say that, you know, you can do it, you can fight it. And Kenyans have really supported her through the treatment. You know, Kenyans contributed the first time and she got some treatment. And even the second time before her passing, when she was going to get treatment in Turkey, Kenyans contributed not the exact amount, but an amount that enabled her to get there and to even start the treatment. And her latest update was when she was in Turkey. You know, she was one strong lady. She still had the strength to inspire others and to say thank you and all that, something that you don't expect from someone who's really struggling with this cancer. Cancer is quite a terrible disease. And after a few days, well, we got the sad news that she had passed on, which is quite sad. And the country is in mourning for so many reasons, but also for dear life as she went, and we condole with the family and we pray that her soul rests in peace. No, I was just thinking from her own journey with cancer. She was interviewed by Lynn Ngugi also at some point, and she was just creating an awareness around cancer. And she was saying that, you know, with breast cancer, it's usually said that for women mostly, because women are the most diagnosed with breast cancer, that there's usually the lump. That is one of the signs that you're told you need to be worried when you see that you have a breast lump and some unusual pain and all that. But for her, she said that is almost at the very end stage. So people need to know some of these other things that might occur, and you don't think that is breast cancer. And you need to seek medical attention as early as you can, because as we know, cancer, when it's in the first stage or the second stage, then it's easily treatable. You know, we have different ways of treating it, if it's mastectomy or whatever it is. So for her, it started manifesting as how do you call it? Boil. We usually call it boil, you know, under the armpit. You wouldn't think that it's something. And she was saying that it almost felt like a heartbeat, like you have another heartbeat under your armpit, and that's how it started. And it came when she was having her monthly periods, and it went, and now it came back. It was just on and off until at some point. After her monthly period, it stuck with her, and now it became painful and it became worrying, and now that's when she went to the checkups, and it was discovered that it is breast cancer. So what I'm just trying to say is some of these things might not be breast cancer, it might be another type of cancer, but we need to know about, we need to be aware about the signs and symptoms, things that we need to look out for when your body is not responding as it should, something abnormal about your body, to signal, you know, as Kenyans, as Africans, tunasemanga itapita, wacha nimeze Panadol inaishanga, so unameza Panadol una relax, afu inakam tena.
Persist,
that's the thing. Even with other diseases, not just cancer, even with kidney failure, because I've covered stories around kidney failure. You know, it starts with, you know, your feet being swollen kidogo, unasikia nikaa iko na maji, you do not know what, so unaekelea mguu, you know, inaisha, vitu kama hizo, you feel tired, there's a fainting kidogo here and there. These are some of the things that you ignore or you misdiagnose. You treat something else, and as you treat something else, it gets to a worse stage. So if you were in stage 1 of kidney failure, then you get to the fourth. When you get to the 4th stage, that is the end stage. That is where you are dependent on dialysis, or where you need a transplant for you to survive. Like there's a story where Eric Omondi helped the young pupil. One of a lady, I'm forgetting her name. She had a kidney transplant, you know, by the support that she got from Kenyans, and now that's a solution to it. But now she has to be on medication for the rest of her life to ensure that kidney is working, because it's foreign to the body and all that. So we need to be woke.
Absolutely. Even for the men, because I also believe the conversation mostly, even the most stories covered, are usually women, women breast cancer awareness, women cervical cancer awareness, and so much more. But also men, you need to go get checked, especially for prostate cancer, yeah? I remember I interviewed, is it Mr. Wild Kenya? That is Mr. Franklin Asoyo. He shared his story about while he was contesting. He mentioned about his dad who succumbed to breast cancer.
His dad?
Yes, his dad, breast cancer.
So breast cancer is not just for women?
For men, yeah.
That's,
for women, rather. Only.
Yeah, there are
it
some
goes
cases
even
where
to
men
both,
also have it.
Gender, but there are a handful, yeah. So he in the interview, he told me that was his beauty for something. In the world of modeling, they call it beauty for something, pageant, whatever. Yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, and then he said he went for a checkup, you know, even though they said, you know, men's prostate checkups are really awkward because it includes you know, bending and, you know.
Uncomfortable.
Yes, it's just really awkward. But, you know, for the health purposes, I'm sure you gotta get checked, yeah?
Yeah.
Or just check yourself, yeah? But, you know, self-diagnosis is always misdiagnosis. You can never tell, you know, how to, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, for men, it's a little bit, you know, wishy-washy. You're halfway, like you just don't know. If I believe even the biggest carriers of STDs are men, because for a man, just a burning sensation, I don't think you're opening up to even your friend. You'll deal with it kidogo, and it burns. You know that R&B songs that say, let it burn. It will burn you so bad. By the time you're getting to, you know, telling the doctor. I even had this conversation with a friend of mine, and it was Kim.
Yeah.
So for him, it's a whole different story I can't mention on TV, yeah? So he was asking me for advice, and I told him, bro, you have to go to the doctor. You have to. If I were an expert in that area, and get idea, but trust me, you have to go to the doctor.
But why do men die in silence?
Especially sexually transmitted diseases,
yes,
yeah.
Sexually transmitted diseases especially. Why is it that we know by nature men, they're macho, and all that.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's no stigma in going to the doctor, because the doctor is there for that exact reason, for that exact purpose. If you can't talk to a friend, then go to the random hospital. Not a random hospital, go to a good hospital and seek advice, medical advice. Then they don't even know you. You're not the first person in the world to have an STI, to have an STD, to have anything that it seems unacceptable to the society. You know, it's good to seek these things, because at the end of it, you don't want to get to a place where you're facing death, not because you couldn't prevent it, but because you are afraid. You know, there's a difference when someone just realizes, oh, I just got here, you know, I'm in stage 4, I didn't know how I got here. But you knowing, you know, and I tried these things, it was misdiagnosis and I got here. But you knowing that this is a problem and it could get you someplace that is not good, then it's very... It's something.
Yeah, but just go get tested, by the way.
Get
even
tested.
for HIV, yeah, I hear even stats say it's most women who go to test for HIV. Men say utapata chenye unatafuta, which is a good thing. You can get positive or negative, but you know, prevention is better than cure. Right? But I also believe the conversation stuff with men starts with how do you open up about, you know, your private parts, because also depending on the doctor, I think that's where the awkward moments come in. Like, how do you tell the doctor you're having a burning sensation? Unless you're dying now, that's when you'll be like...
I mean, the doctor is there for that reason. They have studied, they've gone to school. So, of course, you will get... it depends with the doctors. You can get a doctor who's very open and will make you feel comfortable, and you can get those doctors that are straightforward. It depends with which hospital you're going to appear, because when you go to the private to see the private doctors, then you find that how they treat you, you know, how they treat you, how they handle things are very
professional.
Professional. When private, you go to but again, we're not even dismissing the public hospitals or public doctors or even the missionary hospitals. It just depends on who you get. If you don't get the right one, then find another one. You know, if you're comfortable.
Like in the case of my friend, he was telling me that after he went, because I told him, me, I can't help you, to be honest. I wish I were an expert. So Akanamba, he went to the doctor, and the doctor kamuuliza, who did you sleep with the last one? So he told him to trace the person, you know. So that again talks about, you know, your sex life, yeah? Something that we don't vocally talk about even in the men's space because of shame, and then also, you know, it's just awkward. You know, for you ladies, you can talk about your periods, or some, you know, you're feeling some type of way.
Yeah.
Today you don't feel like eat, no ahala, nini. But for guys,
It's hard.
you rather like zip and zap.
Yeah, but that needs to change. Change the
Yeah.
perception. Kidogo too, it doesn't make you any less of a man. It just
Yeah.
makes you intentional about your well-being.
Yes.
Yeah. Moving
Okay.
away from
The
that.
uncomfortable conversation.
from the uncomfortable conversation,
Yes.
but necessary. Let's talk about the athlete that you've mentioned, who was set ablaze by a lover, and how the People Daily has captured it. I'm on People Daily. It's one of the stories on the front page. It reads, athlete ran towards neighbor while ablaze. You know, I'm reading this and I'm trying to get the picture, but the Daily has given a description which I'm going to read so that it paints a picture of how it was. And just a warning, the article may contain details that some people might find disturbing. You know, so now outside where Rebecca Cheptegei lived, flowers have been planted on grass that was charred as the runner rolled on the ground to put out the flames engulfing her. You know, that was the kind of situation that was there. The 33-year-old, that's how young she was. Olympic runner died on Thursday from injustices sustained when her former partner allegedly doused her with petrol and set her ablaze days earlier while at her home with her two daughters. How traumatizing this is for the children. So now the neighbor explains, I was in the house and heard people screaming fire. When I ran out, I saw Rebecca running towards my house on fire, shouting, help me. So Agnes Barabara, Cheptegei's immediate neighbor, was telling the BBC. So now, as I went to look for water and started calling out for help, her assailant, now this is the ex-lover, her assailant appeared again and doused more petrol on her. How inhumane this is. But then he too got burned and he ran off towards the garden to try to put it out. We then went to help Rebecca. So that's how the ex-lover was also caught in this, and currently he's in hospital. He has sustained injuries from it, but according to the local administration, according to the police are treating the death as a murder, with her ex-partner named by police as the main suspect. So the local administrators said the two had been in conflict about the small piece of land where Cheptegei lived, with the case awaiting resolution. So that is the reason why the ex-lover decided to burn her alive. I mean, why? Yeah. Why are we losing our athletes in such inhumane ways? Because she's not the first athlete that has been killed. A lady, right. You know, it's the women. You wonder what is wrong with. What is wrong? We don't understand. Is it the money? Is it the people they hang out with? Because you can't blame the victim, you know. And it was an issue to do with land. This is an issue that people have in communities, and people kill each other for such small things. I don't care how big the land is, 10 acres, whatever it is. But why do people kill people for such assets? It doesn't match up to someone's life, and it's sad to see an athlete, though she was running for Uganda, she's Kenyan, die because of such a situation, leaving behind her two children.
Yeah, really unfortunate. But then I've not seen Uganda media cover it that much, or maybe we don't watch Uganda television. Do you even know any apart from NTV? Oh, there's NTV Kenya, NTV Uganda. But this story actually was talked about a lot on international platforms, including CNN talked about it, BBC, ABC, MSNBC, even Hollywood actors and actresses as well jumped in. I saw award-winning actress, that is Viola Davis. She shared about it on her Instagram. She quote-unquote said, "Let's stop normalizing violence towards women. Rebecca's entire family will suffer from her murder, so very sad." And at the comment section, there's somebody who commented, it's a Hollywood actress as well. Yes, here it is. She said, domestic violence is a significant issue in Africa, exacerbated by lack of legal protection for women. The stigma associated with the issue can lead to ridicule, hate, and social exclusion for women who leave their husbands. However, the consequences of saying this is, staying in an abusive marriage can be severe, and women must prioritize their safety and well-being over societal expectations. To address this issue, we must challenge cultural and societal norms that perpetuate domestic violence and works towards creating safer environment for women. Yeah, I concur with this sentiment, because, like you mentioned, issues of property. Probably this is an accomplished lady. She recently competed in the 2024 Olympics, and I know she must have had accumulated some 1, 2, 3, words of cash, and probably she was a threat maybe to the husband, but then I think the issue is not that clear. So, but this is some of the African, cultural issues that we are still battling as a society, whether women should own property or not own property, or if the woman succeeds first, should she share her wealth with the husband who has not succeeded first? And then I believe the issue of also submission comes in. For example, if you're a man and you're married to a lady who, she has a bigger job than you, she has a bigger paycheck than you. Of course, as a man, a little bit, there's that, festering sense of, ego, where you feel like you're bruised, you're powerless because you don't call the shots. Even from our forefathers have always called the shots. I remember when my dad was retrenched a little bit, I even personally felt depressed because I couldn't even fathom my dad not going to work, my dad not being able to pay for the flight, and everything in my whole entire life is all about my dad. So when you see your father in a vulnerable position, it also makes you vulnerable. And remember, fathers protect, provide, and just do a lot, So I think there's that societal thing. But, in the modern day world, women are also heads of the family.
Yeah.
That song that says what a man can do, a woman can do better, but not always. Not always, But I think those are some of the things that as life goes by, maybe they're going to be done away with. But verbal abuse, physical abuse, and that's literally domestic violence and gender-based violence should not be condoned in any kind of way. We condemn it to the highest order.
To the highest
possible.
order, yes. And we need to get out of that idea. The conflicts, land conflicts as a people. And I don't know why men feel, it's a whole conversation for another day, why they feel they have been dethroned when the woman is the one making more money or something of that sort. Because as we know, as I know, my personal opinion, a man as the head of the family, yes, the man should take the leadership, but leadership does not necessarily mean money, If at one point, yes, the man should be a provider, that I believe, but if at one point, for one reason or another, you don't have the money, you get retrenched, you get fired from a job, then that doesn't mean you're less of a man, because now men take their jobs, their money as now the pride, that is the authority that they have. But it's not that. Leadership is more than that. You're giving a vision to your family, you're giving a direction to your family, your children can still hear your advice,
What about the wife? Will the wife still be submissive?
Because, what do you mean
because also the debate about submission is wild.
Yes,
when it comes to modern day women, they'll be like, I don't want to submit to somebody who doesn't have what I have. How dare you tell me I'm not used to this,
Submission is a whole different contradictory
But you can't, you
conversation.
can't be in a marriage without submitting. Either way, both of you are submitting
it's
to each
the
other.
understanding of submission that people do not
Yeah.
really get. You know,
Yeah.
as a Christian, how I understand submission now, submission is acknowledging. It is not it's not. It doesn't mean that you're inferior to the man. It only means that you're a bit delicate. You know, as ladies, we are created a bit delicately. Sisi tulikuwa created, men were made. You know,
Yeah,
so we're a bit
okay.
delicate.
Nice one.
I'm just saying. So we're
Yeah.
a bit delicate. You know, so submission, it means respecting your husband, because men
Yeah.
want to be respected. It's the ego.
And obeying your husband.
No, what now where we get it wrong is that we are actually partners. You know, when God said, let me create a helper. A helper means if you're carrying that chair, you need someone to help you with it.
Yeah.
So it means that
So if your helper tells you carry that chair, so you obey, you go.
you do not carry. I help you carry that chair. That
you're
is
helping,
I
yeah?
am helping you carry it.
Okay.
It means you're doing it. You're showing. You're leading. So it's from your leadership that
That's right,
submit
that's
to
right.
it.
Yeah.
But you cannot submit to someone who does not have direction. That's why men
Yeah.
don't get it. So women cannot submit unless you actually have a vision. You actually have that leadership. You've taken that role as a man. So it's
But the
easy
question
to
is,
submit.
Steph, still hold it there. Will you still take direction from this man who doesn't have a job for 6 months, and you're the one who has the most paying job ever? You have a Porsche, you're driving the latest brand of G-Wagon or Tesla.
It's-
Ako tu pale kwa couch anaendelea kuongea na will you still listen?
Now that is not someone who's serious. That's why I'm
No,
saying. That's why,
wait. He's been fired probably 6 months ago.
But he's on the couch doing what? That is the question.
He's depressed, trying to recover. You are the one who have a job. You should be comforting
No.
him and being his therapist.
You can only be there for someone for a while, because you can't be depressed for 6 months over a job that you lost. It's okay for you to be depressed the
Okay.
first, maybe even you're not depressed the first 1 month because you're saying, I will look for a job. You know,
Right.
you don't get depressed the whole time. You get depressed at a certain point. You feel like, now I'm being frustrated. I can't get a job. You know, and as a woman, you understand because you are the helper. Now you talk. You know, you explain to your woman, this is how you're feeling. You know, so now you talk. After 1 month, now you're feeling frustrated. You get depressed. Now they are able to support you because you are the helper. They're able to tell you that, you know, you can actually do this. We can actually do this. You know,
Right.
giving you that kind of support, not making you feel inferior. So it depends on the kind of person you are and the kind of person you marry. Then submission becomes easy, because I think
Absolutely.
as a woman, when you submit to your husband,
Okay.
and submission is being a supportive kind, being reassuring, because a man also wants to be reassured. No can come married, but
You're
and
a
then
therapist here.
you know, to never single people know how to give the best marriage
Absolutely.
advice.
By the way, if you're married, don't go for married friends' advice. Go
Go
for
for
single
single-
ones when you're on street.
Yeah, no. Anyway,
Yeah.
so you know, when you're
Good
submissive, then you're able to even get your husband to do a lot for you. So it's a win-win. It's submission. Si lati sasa fanya kazi, nakwambia fanya instruction, give you instruction, you do
But
it.
treat your man as a king though. Akikuja, fungua mlango.
Yes, it's
Utoe viatu,
treat-
mwambie
treat your
President
man as a-
Kingston, how have you been?
ah,
For me, my grandma, I'm named after, actually Sako is my, the father of my grandma, Sakwa, yeah? So that's probably my great-grandpa. So my grandma adores me. He's like, I'm her everything.
king, the
so it makes
king.
me have some ego and some certain rudeness. But anyways, yeah. Like, I just admire how they used to, you know, treat their men way back as compared to today, daughters of, they're called daughters of who? I don't want to say that word.
no, msi tuingilia. We're good people,
Yeah.
as
But
modern
yeah,
as we are.
I love how times have changed, yeah?
But yeah, you know, marriage has changed a lot. You know, we're seeing a lot of divorce cases, even from celebrities. The other day we saw YY and the wife, separating. They gave an official announcement. And this is not the first time. We've also seen Kate Actress and Phil separating. We have also seen Size 8 and DJ Mo separate. So it's happening a lot
The
in
spirit
the
of divorce.
in the social media space, in the influencer
Right.
space, and something that people don't know is that it goes down to the society, because these are people that people look up to, you know. So
Yeah.
it becomes normalized, and you will see that there's a lot of divorce cases in this generation, in the
Yeah.
millennials, they have seen, I think it started with the millennials, and now Gen Zs ni venye bado hawajaoa. Kuna wanaoa, but
They don't even
Gen
believe
Z's
in
getting
marriage
into,
anymore. Yeah.
and Gen Zs don't even believe in marriage. That's the problem, because that's how the society has shaped it.
Yeah.
We've stopped looking at our parents' name.
The boomers somehow.
Boomers, yes. We've stopped looking at the boomers and how it was, and now we are looking at kina millennials, how they're doing, the influencers, how they're doing. So anything, any small trigger in a marriage, umenibo tujaongeana for 1 month, you know, let's get divorced. I'm not happy with you. I'm tired.
That's intense.
I'm looking for peace, and that's it. But you know, kuna boomers walikuwa navumilia, and there's a good kuvumilia and there's a toxic kuvumilia. Na kuna ile they also had a lot of homicide cases, because our wazazi walikuwa naambia ukishaolewa kaa kwa your marriage until someone
it works,
and someone dies in that marriage. That was the downside of it, but the upside of it, you'd see that our parents were married for a very long time. You get people who have been married for 60 years. You wonder how they've been married for 60 years, but it's that value. It's that value, and it's that culture that was ingrained in them that divorce is not an option. It is the last resort. It was not even an option. But for us, divorce is the first option. You don't even think about cancelling. You don't think about this and this, and it's just a small issue. Maybe kama hiyo ya pesa. You don't feel like you're being respected as a man. So once the woman rises, you feel not respected anymore. You feel like, so you decide to divorce just like that. So
some of the modern day, relationship issues. But for celebrities, I feel like for celebrities, stuff is different because, for example, even a personality like you, you've been on radio and TV all the time. You're used to attention. People tell you look good all the time, and then you get married to somebody who doesn't recognize that part. It takes a certain power out of you. So I believe with the modern day age, even a person like me, I've been on radio for a minute, I've been on TV. People tell me things, I receive DMs that I'm like, wow. And then you get somebody who's on your case 24/7. It literally takes away that, that divinity of the relationship. So I believe when you're in media, maybe you should also get married to another media personality. If you're in law, get married to a person in law. I think I'm also borrowing from what happened to Jennifer Lopez, this Hollywood R&B star actress. She's been married, I think, she's been divorced like 5 times,
Imagine
from
5
Ben
divorces.
Affleck, I don't know.
Why do you get back to the marriage?
Yeah. So she calls the shots. She has the beauty, she has the voice, she has the looks. So what can a man tell her? She's used to being worshipped, and then you get married to a billionaire who doesn't want any public attention. Definitely that's a divorce from first stage to the last.
That's why you need to know who you're marrying, who you're getting married to. So why get married to someone who you're not sure that you want to spend, you need to know the person, because if this is the person
who will worship you 24/7, Steph. Somebody will go to work, they'll come back in the evening. You want to work as your selfies. Of course, you're dancing in the videos. You're pretty. The world worships you, but it's difficult to get a man who will do that.
So it's just creating a balance. It's just a matter of creating a balance.
You have to pray for a minute, because you're used to attention, and then all of a sudden somebody tells you, I don't want you on Instagram, I don't want you on Snapchat, and that has been your thing since, I don't know, yesterday. How do you even blink? And you've made even millions out of it, definitely that's a divorce pump. So I think in this modern day age, people need to pray a lot. Lord, take the wheel. That's all I can say.
Lord, take the wheel.
Lord, take the wheel.
There's something else that, moving away from that conversation, the other day, the governor of Machakos was trending. So it was not for the right reasons, unfortunately. Now, this is the story. She was trending on X. And so this is Governor Wavinya Ndeti, stranded abroad following banking disputes over Kenyan funds. So it has come to attention that Machakos governor, this is from someone, Wavinya Ndeti is currently stranded abroad after foreign banks refused to allow her to deposit Kenyan funds in her accounts, according to reliable sources. This is according to just Twitter. It's not verified. So according to reliable sources, authorities in the UK declined the transaction, citing concerns about the legitimacy of the funds. So the situation escalated when Governor Wavinya's son was arrested in possession of 679 million. He was detained after failing to provide a satisfactory explanation for how he acquired such a substantial amount of money. So, in a bid to resolve the matter, the governor informed UK authorities that the funds were meant for the Machakos County government. She claimed that the money was earmarked for the construction. Now, here's where you get it. She claimed, this is a whole governor elected, that the money was earmarked for the construction of a level 5 hospital for Machakos residents living well in the UK. In the UK. So, of course, the UK authorities remain unconvinced because what do you even mean? Like,
level 5 in the UK?
Of all the excuses she could have come up with. I mean, yani ata after consultation. Of all the excuses, she thought a level 5 building a level 5 hospital would be the excuse of having that amount of money with her son there. Why? And people are asking, the level 5 hospital in Machakos County itself is struggling. It needs upgrading, it needs some things. Why would you build a hospital in the UK where people are having free access to healthcare? There are better facilities there. Why would you build a level 5 hospital in the UK? Like, in what world are you a governor and you say, make it make sense? Talk to me like I'm a 2-year-old and break it down.
For real,
Honestly, who have we elected? And people are so mad over it. It stirs people up. And these are the things that that caused the Gen Z revolution the other time. And what is happening is that a lot of these cases are being unveiled. But this particular one got me so angry,
this
honestly.
Is insane, for real.
It is.
But also, you know, I think it talks about also, it gives you a sense of where do you have the brains? As in, where is your brain? What happened to ladies being smart? I'm sorry, I apologize for that statement. It came off accidentally. But if you still be smart about it, that's an insane amount of money, seriously, traveling with it abroad, you know? Why can't you even say, you know, I wanted to convert it into, you know, sterling pounds so that when I go back, it will be easier. But siku za mwizi ni 40, hata maybe ni 30 sasa siku hizi.
This is how people...
Once you get caught, that's it.
That's it. People, you lose trust. It would be unfortunate if the people re-elected her again. Because this
is she coming back? Anarudi bado ama anabaki yuko?
I don't know. She's stranded there. So I don't know. She will eventually have to come back because now this is a country. Home is home. But she will have to face the people. Because now people are struggling with fees. People are struggling with different things in Machakos County. But the thought that you could steal, because that money is stolen money. There's no way that your son would be handling that kind of money. That is money that would have...
That's money that can pay half of the citizens of this country.
The county.
Not even half. It can pay every Kenyan. Ukipea tu kila Mkenya 1 million mwambie. Ndio shida zako.
What kind of you know, it's just concerning. What kind of leadership do we have in this country? And it doesn't even need morara for that. It's kuna zingine tu Mungu amezi expose. And there's another one that was trending. There's a project that why am I forgetting about it? There's another project that a citizen ameamua kufanya kazi ya morara, ameenda a project that was launched by the president and who? The former trade CS, Moses Kuria. And he was showing how there's nothing on it. Nothing has been done about it. This was a project that was launched by the president himself.
And it allocated billions?
Yeah. And it costed billions. So these are the things that now Kenyans are awake to. And that is how much we want a change in this country. You can't lie to us. And there's a video that Kenya did. My goodness, that video has made rounds. been watched over, is it 5 million views in his different platforms, just on Instagram alone. The last time I checked, it had 1.8 million. This is just Instagram views, guys. We've not talked about TikTok. We've not talked about YouTube. And people have lauded him so much. This is the video. Allocated money. That's how he's titled it. Allocated money versus used money in government projects. And he was just depicting a picture of what happens qua ground. You know how entertainment is just a depiction of what happens in the society. He painted quite a good picture, and I know you've watched it, but for the benefit of those that have not, government giving a tender to a constructor
and construction of AI roads.
Construction of AI roads, meaning kwanza hapo AI road, something that is not even there kwanza. So it's you know, first there's that, and then now the constructor, by the time wanafika hapo ndani, oh, pesa ishachukuliwa, the money meant for the project, or it has been taken by the MP, the governor, the office of the opposition, you know, everyone has taken it, and the chunk remaining doesn't make sense. So the person goes and paints a road hapo tu kidogo ni Kenya, afu akaweka ribbon, or president akoja kakata. And that's what's happening. That is what Morara is showing. That is what other Kenyans are also showing. Hapa nje. What kind is this?
That's insane. You know, waiting they happen, you know.
Waiting they happen.
I think that also ties it around that Wavinya Ndeti issue, you know, leaders who are painting the bad picture of Kenyan, you know, leadership system. I think there's also a video that was captured when President was addressing his summit. It's called FOCAC in China. So he said that when he was in one of the villages, Kenyans said the place they want to travel to is China. And that part was captured, and let me tell you, Kenyans. But then people are like, you know, these guys lie, they embezzle money, they tell you, you know, they're doing business, but it's just, it's inter business from deal to deal.
Yeah.
So hopefully Wavinya Ndeti should be grilled.
Unfortunately.
Akikuja apeane receipt.
Wakenya walisema kama EACC watafanya kazi.
Yes.
They will find her and grill her themselves.
Because there's a huge amount of money, Steph.
It's a lot of money. It's the taxpayers' money. You need to account for that kind
her
of
salary
money
is not even
it.
a quarter of that.
Yeah, that's how you see politicians are living large, yet the salary doesn't match what they earn. You know, it speaks a lot.
But let her come up with a justifiable example. She might be forgiven. Aseme, oh, hizi do nilikuwa nimeenda kuzilaunch.
There's no way you
Nilienda
can.
kuzilaunch kwa bank ya UK.
Angesik cancel.
Zikwe pounds and then nirudi sasa tuanze kufanya miradi hapo, atasamehewa. But ikienda hivyo,
hapa amechoma. Hapa amechoma. I don't think
anytime soon.
I don't think there's a way to get around this, but we will see. Well, politicians have their way, but now people are woke. Anyway, to the comments as we come to a close on this conversation. So we have asked you a question. It's mostly in fashion. So men's grooming trends. So Jay, ni grooming mistakes gani men wanafaa kulenga? So boy child, you're supposed to be really answering to this, and even ladies, tell us, what do you think?
Maybe Steffi should start off. I think you should be the first one. What is your I believe like a shocking fashion statement when you see it on a man, and you're like, you know, there's those conversations that happen, you know, in your head. You're like, damn, so you nae ametoka country gani, yeah? But you can't say it, but it happens in your head. What are some of those things when you look at a person, you're like, sasa ungejiangalia kwa mirror kidogo tu. Especially for men, yeah. For women, of course, you girls are baby girls, yeah.
Yeah, men, but it applies to both. But for me, some grooming things, just to make sure that you look organized. Kuna tu ile, you may be smart but not organized. Tai iko inakaa hivi, umechoka, nywele, especially for those that keep hair, and then you get that inakaa ndengu. If you're keeping your hair, then make sure that your hair looks really good. It's quite questionable. And then also the smell, you know, I'm imagining that that's part of grooming also. So
Yeah, sure.
You
Hygiene.
need to to smell good. Usikae una cover, so you can look so good, and then mtu kukaribia, you're too sweaty, you're too men are masculine, so the least you can do is have a good cologne.
Yeah. Or just
So
shower if you can't afford a
and
cologne.
just shower.
Yeah. Shower tu.
And make sure
Hata
you
kama ni ile sabuni ya inaitwaje, panga ama kipande.
yeah, but you can afford a roll-on if you can't afford a cologne.
You know, roll-on is a luxury stuff. Roll-on is a luxury.
Well,
And you know, most men are struggling to even buy a shirt. Even, leave alone a shirt, buy a boxer. Actually, this is a conversation we had on a podcast. How many men have even like 3 boxers, 3 pairs of boxers? Yeah, yeah, it's part of your hygiene
It's like
and
a strap.
grooming. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's somebody said, "Mi niko na moja tu na ni ya January to December," but then you say, you know, he doesn't have the money, so utamforce, especially people in the ghetto stuff.
Yeah.
Do they even care about those things?
awako hapo.
All he needs is short pale gikosh moja.
Priorities are different.
Yeah, I think it's about the money. So me,
Okay.
I'd advise you shower.
Just make sure you shower.
Roll-on ni luxury. Yeah.
Good advice. That will work.
Yeah.
Just read some of the comments. Most of you have tuned in, and we appreciate you. We have Amisi Junior, Jenny from Githurai 45, Kichwa, wow. Tuned, Lydia Wangoi present, Jonah anasema good morning Catherine Zweni Makueni, Royal Digital kinyozi pamoja, ndo mtu wa kinyozi hapo. Rata Jose anasema pamoja. Kale anasema watching live. There's a lot of you. Now make sure you answer to the question. We have a lot of you joining. Kamau Musenango, Irungu J. Jason, Vinil Butel, Abud Pascal, we appreciate you. So keep the comments coming. Talk to us. Grooming mistakes gani men wanafaa kulenga. Hashtag is one in the morning at Y254 channel. You get me on my socials at Stephanie Ayeta and at Brian Sakwa 101. We're going to take a short break and then we'll be back with the conversations.
Y254. Imagine.
Komando, wambie sisi ndo vipenzi komando. Komando, wambie sisi ndo vipenzi komando.
Inakuwaje? Ni kila Jumatatu kutokea saa 1:05 hadi 3:30. Ndio unafahamu sisi ni makomando wa Afrika Mashariki ambao tunakupa kipindi chenye mapozi, tunatazama na mapozi ya kwako. Wanasema kwamba you can call me Kenny at Kenrelby. Wagwang, my name is DJ Kuch. Pale kwenye chiki na kupatia mziki zote za East Africa, old school, new school, zote ziko ndani. You can link up at DJ Kuch. Boom.
And of course with me, Kalondu Musimi, I'll be giving you all the entertaining stories in East Africa. Nitakuwa nikuambia nani amefanya nini, kwa nini na akiwa na nani.
Hatuagizi na mabosi, sisi wenyewe mabosi. Wanatobea mikosi, tunalindwa na sagodi pekee.
stories shape our future. It's within them that we get to know ourselves.
God always came through in a way that we couldn't even explain.
Yes.
And we came to realize that putting God at the center of it is like everything else will just flow.
Everything.
What do you do when push comes to shove?
He was a great man.
Yeah.
At that moment, he was supportive.
Yeah.
Until 6 months, we went for the first surgery.
That's why here on The Nest, we tell you these stories to empower you and shape your parenting. Every Tuesday from 7:30 p.m. only on Y254.
This week on The Buzz, Joshua Poet comes through with some poetic pieces.
Coffee with a love. I don't dip no slice in coffee.
Selling Sunset Ladies are back with more drama and more stunning $1 million homes.
Have to solve problems.
We need to be extremely aggressive.
It's true art.
We highlight the life story of actor Manny Montana.
From fans and people that I meet on the street, I really appreciate it.
Find out why Kenyan Jason Derulo charges $600K for a performance.
Hey, Giraffe, December day break your heart.
God have mercy upon us.
Let's catch up on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. with me, Eve Nyaga, for all the entertainment juice.
Chemi za uongo, stories za jaba ndo tingize ubongo, ndo bebe kawale tikiza kamongo.
What's up everybody? Hope you heard of Bones Nation. We are the latest, most stand-up show in 254.
You know how we do each and every Tuesday, Thursday. Mad vibes, mad music. When you see this face, amazing vibes, pure niceness, mad music. Now always kumbuka wewe ndoko in full control.
I'm unavailable. They know they see me.
I go by the name Feeling Jean.
And I am the beat doctor, DJ Epic, straight out of Gas Chamber DJs. You know how we do.
Of course, catch us every single Tuesday and Thursday from 4 p.m. all the way to 7 p.m. for mad energy, good vibes, and interviews and interactions with your favorite celebrities.
Shining in the setting sun like a pearl upon the ocean. Come and feel me, oh feel me.
Feelun है पीने का मौसम तेरे संग इश्क तारी है.
Komando, wambie sisi ndo vipenzi komando.
Komando, wambie sisi ndo vipenzi komando.
Inakuwaje? Ni kila Jumatatu kutokea saa 1:05 hadi 3:30. Ndio unafahamu sisi ni makomando wa Afrika Mashariki ambao tunakupa kipindi chenye mapozi, tunatazama na mapozi ya kwako. Wanasema kwamba you can call me Kenny at Kendrelby.
Wagwang, my name is DJ Kuch. Pale kwenye chiki na kupatia mziki zote za East Africa, old school, new school, zote ziko ndani. You can link up at DJ Kuch. Boom.
And of course with me, Kalondu Musimi, I'll be giving you all the entertaining stories in East Africa. Nitakuwa nikwambia nani amefanya nini, kwa nini na akiwa na nani.
Hatuagizwi na mabosi, sisi wenyewe mabosi. Wanatobea mikosi, tunalindwa na sagodi pekee. Y254. Imagine.
We're back. Thank you for staying with us. If you're just joining, well, you are on time for the first conversation of the day. And today we want to talk about a topic that has been making news for the past few days over the weekend, and that is on learners' safety. This is because of the incidences that have happened at Hillside Endarasha School, where we have lost 21 students currently, and some have not been accounted for. We've also had incidences in 2 other schools where there has been a fire. That is Isiolo Girls and Njia Boys. We are yet to get informed on whether there's any incident of students being hurt. But with that, we want to have a conversation with a teacher. He's a teacher. This is Gilbert Musonye. He teaches at Nairobi Upper Hill Academy. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much for the show. Yeah, actually, learner safety is an integral and indispensable component of learning that cannot be ignored in any way. So for any learning to take place, there must be the safety of the learners.
Okay.
The minors should be given a priority, or else these things that we are seeing will continue happening, the death, the trauma, psychological trauma of the minors. So this thing has been happening for a long time. And the reason is that we are not taking action against them. So the question is, who is supposed to be blamed for this?
Yes, so that's a good question.
Yeah.
And it's a good place to start.
Yeah.
Because we know that there are guidelines on learner safety.
True.
They're there. They have not been implemented because as we were discussing with my co-host earlier on, some of the things that were mentioned, and I'll just repeat it, by a parent who had one of, her child surviving that particular incident. She was saying, tunaweza taka wasiweke wanafunzi wengi pamoja bweni ziwe kadhaa kwa sababu the dormitory was hosting a lot of students, and the beds were very close to each other. Some beds were wood, and they also had a barricade between some beds, which was made of wood, of course, and this only accelerates a cardboard separating the sleeping area, which was made of wood, and this was hosting students from grade 8 all the way from grade 5 all the way to grade 8. So that was a problem. But the good thing is that they had 3 doors, and I know that's a requirement. At least that was met. But on this other, the beds were 3-decker.
3-decker.
Bed instead of 2. And now the spacing was not enough, and it was hosting so many people. So that's a problem that was there. And in other schools, currently it's still a problem. So who's to blame for this?
Yeah, actually, it's a two-way traffic, either the school or the Ministry of Education. As you know very well that the Ministry of Education have set out guidelines on what should be done in regards to learner safety. But then this is not followed. For example, concerning the dormitory, we have been told that the space should be about 1.2 meters for the corridors, between one bed to another. Then for the corridors should be 2 meters, right? Then the doors should be 5 feet wide and should be open outwards, right? And then the structures like the walls should be permanent, not wooden. So what we saw like in Endarasha, the Hillside School, the walls were wooden, as you said. And then this fueled the burning of the dormitory. So it means that when they were checking this school, when the Ministry of Education officers, when they were inspecting the school, they didn't consider that. Maybe again they were overpopulated. 156 pupils in a dormitory, that's a large number. And mark you that these are minors, yeah? They were between 9 to 13 years old. Yeah. So such kind of pupils, you know, they are still young. They cannot think very fast what's supposed to be done because of the population. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just read some of the things on school fire safety preparedness that are there that have probably not been implemented in many schools. So I understand that some schools had windows reinforced with metal grids, and this is some of the problems. And some schools had only one door at the dormitory, and this is from the Auditor General report on schools, right? And then the dormitory required to have doors at both ends. They also say that 30 out of 40 sampled schools exceeded the number of pupils stated in the registration certificate, with the highest school having an excess of 519 students. So this is an excess of, as you know, from what is stated in the registration certificate. So this, the government, the ministry doesn't know about. And then 29 schools had classes with more than 45 students, contrary to regulation. So regulation should have that. A class should have a maximum of 45 students. Okay. And now the audit also revealed that 6 schools had triple-decker beds now instead of double-decker beds. Ministry of Education only approved double-decker beds. Schools flouted the spacing requirement of pathway space of 2 meters in dormitories. And then 34 boarding schools had double-decker beds with wrong spacing. And most dormitories were congested, as this one of Hillside. The situation escalated with the government's 100% transition policy. So now this is where I want to ask you the question, because the requirement is that a class should have a maximum of 45 students, right? But the government passed the policy, the transition 100% transition policy. So the schools will get a number exceeding the requirement that they're supposed to get. So in such a situation, then how are they supposed to handle it? Because that's where we get that the dormitories are having excesses, because maybe the school can't afford to build an extra dormitory. Is this the mandate of the school to build an extra dormitory to accommodate the other students, or is it the ministry that's supposed to work on that if they have sent excesses to the schools?
This one has to do with either private school or and public schools. You know, with the government 100% transition to public school, like the school are overcrowded. So it's the purpose of the Ministry of Education to go on the ground to check if the school has enough infrastructure or not. Okay? And then concerning the private school, it's the duty of the school to build more dormitories. It's not just about money. You know, the problem with the private school is a business-oriented institution, So what they want is just money, They don't care about congestion. You can see some of the schools had even triple beds, So it's their duty, not just taking pupils, but also consider, do they have enough facilities to hold this? Then the Ministry of Education should foster this, go on the ground, ensure that the guidelines have been followed without any corruption. You know, the problem is corruption, So you find that the school is congested, does not have facilities, and it's just being approved to continue. So this one should be followed, should be taken care of by both parties, either the government and the school.
So what is the place of the Quality Assurance Directorate as you've said? Because they have the mandate of inspecting the schools. So once they inspect the schools and they find out that there's some wrong, it's like the research that was done. If the excesses, if the dormitories are not spaced out, then what happens after that? does it just become a research? Is
No,
action
no,
supposed
no,
to be
no,
taken?
no.
Who is supposed to take this action?
Now, if they find the school is not meeting these standards, the health standard is not only it's not only infrastructure only. We have to look even in health standards. Does it have enough toilets or not? They should disapprove it, yeah? But that's not what is happening, yeah? We have seen it. The schools are lacking these things, and they go on approving the school, okay?
Yeah.
So the action should be taken against these schools that are not implementing these guidelines that have been set out without any biasness or so, yeah? Yeah, that's what should be done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there shouldn't be biasness or
No.
corruption
Yeah.
at any point in
Yeah,
time. They're
yeah.
supposed to carry out their mandate as
True.
supposed to.
Yeah.
Now, what the let me just read it. What the Kuppet Secretary General was saying
Yeah.
is the time has come for Kenyans to rethink the place of boarding schools in this country.
Yeah.
The government should spend more time, more resources rather, on the Quality Assurance Directorate to enhance inspection and compliance in school. So what this suggests is, again, the government has not does not allocate enough resources for this particular directorate to inspect schools. But what resources do they need to inspect schools if that is their mandate? That is one question. And then now the question on the government for Kenyans to rethink the place of boarding schools in this country. Now, could it be suggesting that looking at the CBC and what is going to be agreed upon, should it not be boarding schools, as the grade 8 learners transitions to grade 9, the government, the parents consider having day schools instead of boarding schools? So those are two things.
Yeah, there was discussion like that, like abolishing the boarding schools, yeah? But there are some factors to be taken first. Like, before a parent takes a child to a boarding school, what has made him or her to go to take the child, yeah? But then, at what age, the question is, at what age are you supposed to take this child to a boarding school? We cannot abolish boarding school completely, but then at what age should a child be taken to a boarding school? We have seen parents taking pupils to a boarding school at very young age, like even 7 years. Grade 3 pupil is in boarding school, grade 4. You see, the question is, at what age should he take this child? Yeah, some are not even responsible, like they cannot take care of themselves. Yeah, I think the guidelines should be set for the pupils to, like, what times are they supposed to go to boarding school, or in which grade are they supposed to board, like they had said. But we cannot do away with boarding school. I don't think we can do away with boarding school completely. Because, yeah.
Why? What is the reason behind us not abolishing boarding schools?
Like concerning some parents, you may find some parents are very busy. Some even arrive home as late as 11 p.m. And you find that nobody is able to take care of these children at home. Yeah. So there's a need for them to go to, if the parents is to take them to boarding school. Yeah.
Okay.
The other factors, maybe, such kind of, it makes the parent to take them.
It is a bit convenient for the parent, especially if they're not, they're coming from a humble background, because now with boarding, the advantage is that the children have a better environment to learn, because they're being provided for the meals and good conducive environment, right?
Yeah.
So that's the advantage of boarding schools.
It's true.
The disadvantage would be things like such incidences, but which can be handled. Now, to the quality assurance issue, that more resources need to be allocated to this particular directorate. Do you think that is the case? Should the government allocate more resources to this directorate?
Yeah, it's true. The government, I don't know even if they are still existing. Yeah, the government should make sure that it has provided enough resources to support these quality assurance people, to foster the guidelines that they have set. Otherwise, the school will continue behaving the same. The problem is the resources are not there. Like some schools cannot be reached because they are far. You see, the quality assurance people cannot reach there. So it's the duty of the government to provide things like transport, so to make sure that these quality assurance people are going there and they are giving reports to the Ministry of Education every now and then on what's happening on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is an important thing that they need to consider when we're looking at tackling this particular issue.
True.
So let's talk about the emergency response, because when the fire at Endarasha took place, it took a lot of time first before the fire, how do you call them? The fire extinguishers came. Mostly because of the terrain of the place, but it also took a lot of time. And then when they came, they requested for backup because it was not enough, you know, and that forced the locals to come and try to put out the fire. And this is not one of the cases. This is just one of the cases that we have seen. What does that say about our emergency response? In the emergency response in our country, what should be done, especially when it comes to cases of school fires?
Okay, I think when it comes to school fires, one of the things is that, as I said, the school should create an emergency action plan in case of a fire. For example, it should first train its staff on fire incident, how to deal with fire incident first, right? Like I was reading in that report, it just said that the matron who was in the dorm had to go and call the teachers who were staying there to come to help, you see. It means they had little knowledge about how to deal with this circumstance, So the school should come up with the emergency plan, as I said, is a very either to train the staff, even the children, on what should be done to respond to emergency, okay? In case of a fire, before even we go to fire extinguishers,
How they can contain it before it accelerates.
Before it accelerates. Then the school should also should have the fire equipment, right?
Fire extinguishers.
The fire extinguishers. It should label clearly where the children should run in case of fire. Fire exit points, fire assembly points, right? To avoid that commotion here and there when the children are in case of a fire. Then in terms of this fire extinguisher, I think lack of enough facilities is the one that is causing a problem. I saw here in Nairobi when there was fire, in which market was that? Was it Toi Market? You find that the fire extinguisher equipment were not enough. The lorries had gone to put a fire in another place. So by the time they're coming here, it's already worse. So there should be enough of this, at least one per sub-county, enough of this fire, the lorries and so on. At least one per sub-county. The county government should ensure this.
One per sub-county as the bare minimum.
That could be the bare minimum.
Because it's quite unfortunate when the fire extinguishers are not able to put out the fire, yet they're there. It only makes the situation look even more desperate, you know. Now, apart from that, when we're still looking at learners' safety, there are situations where we've had students die in school. Either in primary, there's a latest incident where a child was forced to go to do an activity, a school activity, and he died. You know, we've had cases in high schools where the teacher maybe, you know, violently, you know, beats a child up until they succumbed, you know. Maybe they slept and woke up, but, you know, people find they're gone. Different incidences where learners have been found to in latrines, such terrible cases. Some have died in swimming pools, they're just gone for swimming, maybe they did not know how to swim, and they died, and this is all part of learners' safety. So what needs to be done in this area? What is your take on that?
Okay, I think the school should educate its staff, like during opening staff meeting of every term, should educate its staff on how to deal with fire safety of the child. Yeah, identify the areas that might be hazardous to these pupils, label them clearly, come up with something like come up with a teacher who is dealing with safety of the school, to report every week to the school admin on what happened to pupils when they are at school in case of any danger. Guide the learners the places that may be hazardous or dangerous to them. Tell them that what should be done, and educate them. Just educate the children on their safety. Things to do with pits, pupils falling in a pit. Sometimes I saw a child was knocked by a school bus, you see? Yeah, because of the safety. This is the lack of safety that the school is not giving the staff. Yeah, they should come up with a manual on how to protect the child, and educate the child on what they should do and the places that they should avoid when they are playing. And then the school should come up with look at these places, like the field. Maybe the field has potholes. These pit, you see, they should cover them up and maybe fence the area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the school needs to train their staff on how to handle learner safety. It needs to ensure that the environment is safe for learners, the grounds, and they have also guidelines to guide the learners on how to engage while they're outside the class. What about now the incidences where teachers go overboard in disciplining students? And this is especially in high schools, but also primary. We've had cases where teachers were overboard when they were disciplining the child, to an extent of beating them on their head, and areas that are very dangerous and sensitive, which ends to the learner's death, which is quite unfortunate for the family, because now when the parent takes their children to school, say boarding, they entrust that the teachers are taking care of their children.
It's true. Now, when a teacher is employed by TSC, he is always given a TSC Act, right? And one of these TSC Act, the law states that every child has a right to be protected from abuse, neglect, harmful cultural practices, all form of violence, inhuman treatment, and punishment. So if you find a teacher is going against this, punishing and maybe harassing the child, mistreating the child, I think is going against the TSC Act, and the repercussion is clear that if you do this, one, you will be sacked, and necessary actions will be taken against you. The law will be taken against you. So the teacher should follow what the TSC Act done. So there are other means of administering punishment to learners without actually inflicting pain on their bodies, right? So the school should come up with this, like how to administer punishment in case a child has done a mistake. Apart from this, it should set up things like a department of guiding and counseling learners who are hyper in school, right? To guide these learners together with other stakeholders like the parents. Call the parent, tell the parents how the child is behaving at school. instead of administering these punishment that are harsh, we call them corporal punishment. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And still on learners' safety,
Yeah.
but a bit on the mental health side,
Yeah.
because for one, with the Endarasha fire, we know at least that it was caused by an electric fault, you know, and that was beyond, that was not, that was something that maybe we could say is out of anyone's hands, really. But there are cases where some fires are caused by arson, and especially in high schools, secondary schools, where learners just decide to burn a dormitory because they feel they have been suppressed or they're depressed or something around that. Now, how can the school work on eliminating that? Because that has been there over the years. Even myself, when I was in high school, we had cases. You would be in school, you know, you hear some neighboring school or some school that you know has caused a fire because they want to go home or something of that sort. So how do you handle that as a school?
I think one of the things that cause this is that the school admin does not give an ear to pupils' demands, right? Yeah, like they ignore what the children want, right? So the best thing is to collect information like what do these pupils want, have some meeting with these pupils, regular meetings, either from a class level or in the entire school. Listen to their grievances, what they think is not going well. They note it down before it worsens, right? And look for a solution on how to guide these pupils in the best way to avoid this incident of pupils burning fire schools and so on.
Okay.
So they should give an ear to the children through meetings and so on.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
What have you done where you are as a teacher in your school? What has your school implemented to ensure learners' safety? If you're able to, if you're okay to answer that.
Learner safety. One of the things is we normally have training of the staff. Like there's a time we were trained by Kenya Safety. The Kenya Safety people came. They trained us on how to deal with fire, right? Sometimes we normally there's a time we had the first aid officer, and sometimes we normally have this first aid session whereby we train children how to administer first aid in case the children have been they are playing and the teacher is not around, right? How to administer first aid to their colleagues, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Areas we have identified clearly labeled in the fire exit points in case of fire. There is fire extinguishers in the school. So I think we are prepared well. Yeah.
All right. So you're well prepared for that.
Yeah.
And the clubs that are usually there, because I know we have clubs like the, I'm forgetting the clubs that I was in. Is it the Red Cross?
Yeah, Red Cross. Yeah.
Yeah. Such like clubs in schools. How important is it to have learners joining them and even impacting the same knowledge to other learners?
It's very, very vital to have such kind of clubs, by the way. Yeah, because the clubs, they'll give the learners skills, as you had said. The skills will be very important in case of any danger. The children will be able to deal with it. Even the scouts, normally see them, the scouts training how to deal with any danger that affect the other ones. Yeah. So it's very important to have such kind of clubs in school and train the children on how to deal with any situation that may emerge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So these clubs are very necessary, and schools need to invest in learners that are there, because clubs can also be there, but they can be very inactive because they don't receive support from the administration. So it's very important, right? Okay, so as we come to a close on this particular conversation, what more would you say needs to be done? Give us that as your closing remarks, and any other thing that you'd want to say.
Okay, actually, we need to invest more in learner safety. Actually, what we are seeing in the news, television, we should learn before it gets back to us. You see, this is something that is inevitable. We cannot predict. Today is in your school, another day it will be in our school. So we should learn from what we are seeing. Let's not wait until it reaches us. Prepare learners, educate your staff. The school should educate their staff on how to deal with these emergencies that are happening. Both teaching and non-teaching staff. Even fire can start in the kitchen. You should train everyone. Every stakeholder should be aware of how to deal with an emergency in case there's a fire outbreak or any child safety, anything concerning the safety of a child, because it's a priority.
So everyone needs to learn about it.
Everyone needs to know about it.
Okay. Are you okay sharing your social handles in case someone wants to reach out to you?
My social handle is #GilbertMusonye on all social media.
Gilbert Musonye. Across all social platforms. Thank you very much for coming on board, Gilbert, and sharing the amazing insights with us.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So that has been Gilbert Musonye. He is a teacher at Nairobi Upper Hill Academy, and we've been talking about learner safety on the backdrop on what has been happening in the country with the outbreaks of fire in schools, which is quite concerning. I hope we've taken a few things from that. Now we're going to take a short break, and then Brian Sako will be coming with yet another interesting conversation, and this is on men's fashion. What are those things that men should look out for in their fashion? So talk to us, #Why in the Morning at Y254 channel. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
Y254. Imagine.
Komando, wambie sisi ndo vipenzi komando. Komando, wambie sisi ndo vipenzi komando.
Inakuwaje? Ni kila Jumatatu kutokea saa 1:05 hadi 3:30. Ndio unafahamu sisi ni makomando wa Afrika Mashariki ambao tunakupa kipindi chenye mapozi, tunatazama na mapozi ya kwako. Wanasema kwamba you can call me Kenny at Kendrelby.
Wagwang. My name is DJ Kuch. Pale kwenye chiki na kupatia mziki zote za East Africa, old school, new school, zote ziko ndani. We can link up at DJ Kuch. Boom.
And of course with me, Kalondu Musimi, I'll be giving you all the entertaining stories in East Africa. Nitakuwa nikuambia nani amefanya nini, kwa nini na akiwa na nani.
Hatuagizi na mabosi, sisi wenyewe bosi. Wanatobea mikosi, tunalindwa na sagodi peke.
This week on The Buzz, Joshua Poet comes through with some poetic pieces.
Coffee with a love. I don't dip no slice in coffee.
Selling Sunset Ladies are back with more drama and more stunning $1 million homes.
Have to solve problems.
We need to be extremely aggressive.
It's true art.
We highlight the life story of actor Manny Montana.
From fans and people that I meet on the street, I really appreciate it.
Find out why Kenyan Jason Derulo charges $600K for a performance.
December they break your heart.
God have mercy upon us.
Let's catch up on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. with me, Eve Nyaga, for all the entertainment juice.
Y254. Imagine.
Now, we want to have a conversation about why the smallholder farmer needs support right now to ensure that their production increases. Over 70% of farming in Kenya and Africa is done by smallholder farmers, but of course they face quite a number of challenges. There's a lack of market access, there's also lack of information that is affecting these farmers, and of course the aging farmer, how to ensure that the young people are also incorporated into farming and agriculture at large. To have this conversation is Dr. Robert Mwadime. He is the Chief of Party at Kenya Crops and Dairy Market Systems Project of USAID. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Karibu sana. So could you just tell us how this project came about and what it is about?
So KCDMS, or Kenya Crop Dairy Market Systems Project of USAID, started in 2017. As usual, USAID makes a call and then you put yourselves in consortium and apply. So we, as RTI International, it's an American company, together with two Kenyan companies, we were able to come together and actually bid, and we were able to be awarded this activity. It was a 5-year activity that ran between 2017, went through all the turmoils of between 2017 up to 2022, we all know them. And then in 2022, last year, after the end of it, USAID came back to us and asked us that we could also bid, or we could also be given additional resources to run for another 1 year to be able to address new challenges that were able to come around that time of 2023. You know, there was elections, there was the Russian-Ukraine war, and it was just after the COVID, effects of COVID. And so there was a lot of disability within the economic systems, within the production systems, within the logistics systems. And so USAID asked us, okay, you guys take 1 more year, here's funds, continue doing what you've been doing very well, and reach additional farmers.
Let's just talk about those 5 years first of all. What did you achieve for the farmer especially?
So in the first 5 years, our main task was actually linking the farmer with markets. And by markets, we are talking about linking farmer with either the input markets. So those are things to do with all the kinds of inputs. It meant us working with the private sector, with the county governments, and with cooperatives and others to link farmers to the input market. But another task was to link farmers with the buyers, so that kind of a market, so the off-takers, the market, whether it's trade or it's export market. So that was the main thing. And we did that in 12 counties, 9 counties in the western part of Kenya, and 3 counties in SEC region, the southern eastern part of Kenya. And during that time, we dealt with 5 key value chains, or 5 key commodities. So we dealt with mangoes and did a lot of work with mangoes, especially with southern eastern Kenya. We dealt with avocado, did a lot of work with avocado, especially in Western Kenya, dealt with dairy, trying to improve milk production, sales of milk production in all these counties where we did a lot of different work in area of dairy. Then we did bananas and other commodities that we were actually working with. So in the first 5 years, that was the main thing. So we worked with exporters. Now, if you ask me what was our main achievements and impacts during that time, we were able to reach around 310,000 farmers in these 12 counties. And by farmers, I mean smallholder farmers. We rarely worked with large-scale farmers. Mainly is smallholder, people with 5 acres or less, and mostly people in very remote areas. So those farmers who are smallholder in very remote areas rarely reached by markets, rarely been able to access. We were able to include within our project a social inclusion where we made sure that women and youth, and especially young youth, had a chance to participate in our activities because they can easily be left out. They rarely participate in agriculture, they rarely participate in markets related to agriculture, but how are we going to pull them in? But also other people who are not as privileged, orphaned children, people living with disability, widowed women. We tried to bring them in to participate in our activities.
We know that for farmers in Kenya, production is still very low, even compared to other markets, production, say, per acre. What exactly did you do to ensure that this production increases, and did you see any results from that?
So in the first 5 years, a lot of the work was to link them with markets, whether inputs and so on. So let's say, for instance, the productivity in dairy. Just to give an example, I can give different examples, but let's say in dairy. In these counties, they are not traditionally dairy counties. I mean, Taita Taveta, where I come from, is not a dairy county. Neither is Busia. And so we worked with these counties first to improve the breeds of animals. So we worked with counties to see how do we use new technologies in breeding where would improve the genetic potential of the cow. And so we did a lot of artificial insemination in almost all these counties, working with the county. And it was two ways. Some counties did campaigns to have as many farmers as possible, absorb artificial insemination, some invested in extension, but some also invested in semen and keeping the semen. So they bought the semen, but we worked with the private sector to make sure that that semen reaches the farmers at reasonable price while it's still of high quality. But also we worked on the nutrition of the animals. So you can get the right genetics, but does it reach its potential? So nutrition was a major aspect, the animal nutrition, making sure that they are supplemented, but also making sure that fodder is available. Remember, Kenya is a very seasonal country. There's a time when in those areas there's a lot of fodder. There's a time when there isn't any. How would we make sure that there's enough fodder during that particular time? But also treatment of the animals. And then also, don't forget, USAID has very many activities. It's not only us. There were some working on water. So how do we bring that water to the dairy farmer in some of these communities? Like if you ask Makueni, I'm a dairy farmer, water is very far from my place, I'm buying water. How do I make sure that the water is closer to me? So we partnered with other USAID partners to make sure that the impact of the activity is more visible, and worked with other government activities also. So if you take, for instance, Makueni, we worked with the county government to make sure water is available to the dairy farmers as it's been made available elsewhere. So you can see we worked to increase the productivity of animals. We worked in various areas. The same thing with crops. We might have worked to improve the quality, the health of the soils, or we might have worked to improve access to fertilizer, or that we might have worked to make sure that the private sector avails the knowledge that sometimes it's just knowledge that the farmer need on how to space the crops and so increase the productivity.
All right.
But it's not just increasing productivity, it's increasing productivity for the market. I think the farmer, it was a big mental change that you're not producing just to produce. You are producing to meet the quality of a certain market.
So how can farmers prepare for such shocks? How can they prepare, and can they really do it alone, or are there partners that are helping them?
So, yeah, that's a very good question. A single farmer can try to do something, but it is best done if it's a bigger part of the community. It's better done if it's the whole county. It's better done, of course, if it's the whole country, because it affects not just the farmer, it affects systems. The financial systems are affected, the buying, the logistics systems are affected, the supply systems are affected. So the farmer may try as an individual to put all the capacity he needs or she needs to prepare ourselves for any shocks. So one capacity is able to anticipate. For instance, now we all know that El Nino is coming. So we can anticipate what is going to happen during El Nino. Now, we need to anticipate that, but we need to come together, the different systems, and actually prepare ourselves for the El Nino. So there were shocks that the farmer could have anticipated. There were shocks that the farmer could not have anticipated. I mean, the farmer could have guessed what is going to happen during the election, but the farmer could not have guessed what's going to happen about COVID. So was just caught unawares, thought probably it's going to take 2 months. It took longer, and every system was affected. And so, yeah, what we need to do, we can do at individual level. There's a lot of capacities we can build related to knowledge, to anticipate, to plan, to have a buffer, like savings. Farmers need to know that they can be able to save, but they also need to know there's somewhere I can run to be rescued. Can I trust the bank that in case I'm hit and I go down, I'll go to the bank or a financial institution and get support? But a farmer can also know I can put on insurance. So if I'm hit, I can actually know I've lost, but then I run and get insurance and I'm compensated for what I have. Now, to put all these systems, the farmer can know all this, but now you have to put all these systems. The government might have to come in, put the right policy that are transformative, that can support the farmer, that can actually help the farmer when the farmer needs that. The county government needs to come in and put the right system. So if you see when shocks came, some counties bought seeds and gave farmers so that the farmer can continue to produce. Some counties were able to compensate farmers for some of the losses. So it's varied. But also the private sector needs to put the right systems for them to be able to withstand. So like when we were not allowed to move from one place to place, how did we expect the farmer to get fertilizer? Some places, the border people organized themselves, and they were the main linkage between the farmer and the agro dealer. So the agro dealer now cannot drive, but gives all this to the border people, and they got linkages. So the different systems were able to organize themselves. Farmers were able to organize themselves. But the big question is, were they coordinated, moving in the right direction? Now, as a Kenyan, I can say we failed a little bit there. Everybody was doing their own thing. The financial institutions were doing their own thing to make their money. Private sector the same, the farmer to survive. But we were not all working for a common good.
As we continue seeking to export our produce to other countries, we are exporting a lot of raw material. There's still a gap in value addition. What have you witnessed in the market in terms of value addition? Are we improving? Are we growing? And what can be done to even bring more people on board? to ensure that value addition in the agriculture sector is improved?
We have been working to open new areas, so that's production in Western Kenya, so that those areas can produce avocado. They have their own advantages compared to where traditionally we've been producing avocado, which is central part and parts of Eastern. So those areas, unlike the central and elsewhere, they are bigger pieces of land, they are very good weather, very good soil. The maturity of the avocado is slightly earlier than the one we produce here in Central. And so that's the production part. But one problem that persistently has existed in the avocado sector is that only around 30-20% of the avocado we produce is actually exported. We consume almost the same amount, and then there's a lot of loss because avocado just comes when it matures, and because of that loss, farmers get big losses, poor prices for that low quality avocado and the avocado that cannot be exported or consumed locally. So the question is, how can we add value? One, value to make sure that we are not just exporting raw material like you've seen, but also value to absorb this wastage. So for the wastage is, can we get another product that is of high value that we can actually export? And so that's where avocado oil came in. And as KCDMS USAID invested in companies that wanted to enter into the area of avocado oil and invested for infrastructure and equipment and knowledge and all that is needed for them to produce high quality oil for the export market, but also for local consumption by pharmaceuticals and beauty companies and so on. But now the question that is there is, what about the good avocado which is not exported? Remember, exporting fetches good market for raw. That actually for that to get any substitute for the price that you get for that avocado is difficult. But how can we diversify? So now people are moving towards frozen avocado. So there's the act of freezing adds value. I don't want to complicated technologies, but just freezing does that. There are people who are cutting avocado into pieces and freezing it and selling it ready to eat. There are people who are engaging in producing avocado powder. You can imagine. And there are people who, the products that come out in the process, they're using the waste to produce gas, which is being used for the same processing mechanism, or that can also be used and sold. So we're encouraging diversification. So what USAID is doing is, can we help companies in product development? So we go to a company and ask them, okay, let's develop a new product. And because you don't want to invest in it, we can co-invest in it together. And you find USAID co-invests in that kind of a thing, product development. Because in Kenya, if I develop a product and I pay for it as a company, tomorrow everybody is doing it. So why did I pay for it? So that's why we need development partners to invest. And that's where USAID has decided we can co-invest with you in those things that might not benefit you alone, but may benefit other people, and especially in product development.
Could you give us your closing remarks? What does the future look like for the smallholder farmer?
Two things I think I can say is, as Kenyans, first of all, we as increasingly we start producing also for the market, and especially the export market, I would say we need to move from just producing, but be knowing that we are not just producing for ourselves, we are producing for the world. And be proud of it. And when you, as a farmer of mangoes, you are producing, look at that mango and say, this mango I'm producing for the world, not just for myself. That way, you'll invest in that mango, you will actually give it the best, because you know the world is depending on me to produce this apple banana. Nobody else produces the apple banana. The government will invest in that. The county will invest in that because they know we are producing for the world. Whether it is mango, avocado, whatever we are producing, even coffee, let's produce for the world and let's be proud as Kenyans we are producing for the world. The second thing is this world is changing. We cannot continue doing what we did yesterday and expect different results. We just have to do it differently. Whether it's climate change, the way we handle our politics, the way we do everything, everything is changing. The way we eat is changing. What we want to eat, we have a new generation of people who don't want to eat like their grandfather or grandmother. So we must also change the way we produce. And I think that's where the private sector must be very key, because private sector are very good in noticing the small changes that are happening and quickly adjusting themselves to provide for those changes. And I think that's the direction to go, is to look at them, support them, to identify those changes and be able to move with them. And lastly, can we reduce the cost of production? This country is known to be the most expensive in production. We cannot compete with Tanzania, with Zambia. Wherever you go, even farther you go, their maize still enters this country cheaper. Their sugar enters this country cheaper. Everything of theirs enters this country cheaper. Our avocado will not compete in 2 years if we continue the same cost of production. The government must come in and support farmers to reduce the cost of production.
Y254. Imagine.
Chemi za uongo, stories za jaba ndo tingize ubongo, ndo bebe kawaletikiza kamongo.
What's up, everybody? Have you heard of Bounce Nation? We are the latest, most turned-up show in 254.
You know how we do each and every Tuesday, Thursday. Mad vibes, mad music. When you see this face, amazing vibes, pure niceness, mad music. Now always kumbuka wewe ndoko in full control.
I'm unavailable. They know they see me.
I go by the name Feeling Jean.
And I am the beat doctor, DJ Epic, straight out of Gas Chamber DJs. You know how we do.
Of course, catch us every single Tuesday and Thursday from 4 p.m. all the way to 7 p.m. for mad energy, good vibes, and interviews and interactions with your favorite celebrities.
Y254. Imagine.
Still with Anxiety on the hashtag Why in the Morning. Remember, in our intro with my co-star Stephanie, we were trying to decipher and just break it down for you. What are some of those fashion mistakes that men make? And then what are some of those things that you also need to do as a man to ensure you just look presentable? That is what we're delving into. And plus, are there things that will literally turn you off? Like immediately you see a person dressed up like that, you're like, damn, something could be wrong with you. Those are some of the things you're going to delve into right here. And I'm being joined live in studio by Alvin Ngumba. He's Mr. Kasarani, first runners-up. He'll tell us what that's all about. But we're inviting you as well to talk to us on the hashtag Why in the Morning. Social media is Y254 channel _ on the ground. Personally, mine is at Brian Sako 101. Let us know you're watching us from. We love to see and hear your feedback. Karibu sana, Mr. Alvin.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so I understand, when you venture into your space, you definitely become fashion conscious, yeah?
Yeah.
So in short, you're aware of the things that you should put up as let's say outfit ensembles that you dress up. Even today's outfit, I see it's well coordinated, yeah? And now you've got your sash together, yeah? Do you believe in this day and age, men are more fashion conscious as compared to Kitambo? I mean, it's something that has evolved with time from your experience.
Once again, I'm Mr. Kasarani, first runners-up. I'm Alvin. So, concerning grooming, actually, you know, there is this concept whereby guys tend to have, it's like a mentality whereby they normally say like, wanasemanga like the mambo ya, okay, kujigroom sana, hiyo tuachie mademu.
Yeah.
But in this time and generation,
yes,
it is actually very important to groom yourself, because you'll notice most of the people, even who gets a compliment on these eras, are the people who groom themselves.
Right.
Because bila kujigroom, sidhani kadi unaweza salimiwa. Yeah, tena there is a confidence that comes when you know you're well groomed.
Yeah.
As compared to when you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for a person like you, it's like you've gone through some sort of training when it comes to putting your outfits together, as compared to just, you know, like an ordinary guy. Let's say mtu mwenye ako huko Kibra, a young guy like you. They're not fashion conscious in terms of this shirt, I should pair it with this piece of trouser. This shoe, I should pair it with maybe a bolder color or a more, let's say, lighter fair shade of shirt, and also the color coordinating, you know, bold outfits and not so bold, or let's say dark outfits. Maybe, is it because for you, maybe you have that training, and maybe we also need to ensure that guys out there need to understand it. Just dress the way you want, because there's also the adage that says you are dressed according to how you are dressed, yeah? Don't you feel like maybe we need more awareness in terms of guys, specifically now for dudes? Because you also mentioned nowadays, if you're not good looking in terms of your outfits presentation, nobody even looks in your direction.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, when it comes to grooming, there is a lot of things like you must consider.
Right.
Grooming is not about what you wear, but it also comes to personal hygiene.
Right.
Yeah, so when it comes to grooming, number one, in the aspect of grooming, it involves a lot of things.
Okay.
Mentioning about your skin, your hair.
Your skin in terms of like having some sort of skincare routine.
Yeah, it's important for one to have a skincare routine.
Even for men, yeah?
Yeah, that's very important.
Okay.
Otherwise, hakuna mtu anaweza taka kuona say like amejaa tu like anakaa tu vile anakaa. Because we normally say people judge you by how you look, or how you dress. That's one very important thing.
Okay.
Yeah, and
but you know, for a man, somebody would argue still. Just hold it there. I'll get back to you. Extend that. Somebody would say, as a man, why do you even have a skincare routine? Because it's considered to be a little bit feminine. But you said your skin is really important. But when you talk of skincare, it means you have to invest in the skin products, and that includes maybe the shower gels that are really expensive. You know, for men, shower gel is not a cheap thing, yeah. Expensive soap, bathing soap, yeah. Expensive lotion. Now you can add in things like, you know, cologne, you know.
Yeah. Actually, when I say like skincare, what I mean is by taking care of how you okay, it's by like how you bathe, but I'm not talking about the products. Okay. Whereby you use it to maybe kujibleach kama like aloe vera vitu kaa hizo. So what I mean, it's by taking care of yourself, I mean like kujiangalia tu poa.
But what does it entail kwa hii kujiangalia? Unajua pia,
okay, number one,
you've mentioned showering, but that means if it's skincare, it means there's a good soap in between, yeah?
Yeah.
There's a good shower gel hapo katikati, yeah? That will nourish your skin, and now when you're done, there's things like moisturizer, yeah? That, you know, the modern day man, I've seen people like, what is this guy? Is it Mike Mushiri? He's a content creator, yeah? There's a time he had this Garnier products, and he was trying to do the first drops and everything, and his skin was glowing for real, yeah? So that's a whole investment when it comes to now skin as care.
Yeah. Actually, I don't disagree there, but to differentiate, okay, to become the 1% of the guys, one thing you should do is like, you must differentiate. Unastahili kujitoanisha na wengine, so unaona? Yeah, that's why I normally prefer when someone at least anatumia, if you can, well and good, but Basically uweze tu kujimaintain poa.
Right.
Yeah.
And also joining us shortly is his counterpart, that is Frederick Ngugi. He is Mr. Kasarani's second runners-up. So you guys, in short, you know each other.
Yeah, we know each other.
Yeah, so Mr. Frederick, you're just picking up from the conversation about skincare. And we are talking about having some sort of like routine, and we were trying to delve into the way investing in skincare products is really expensive for men, but he's insisted and said, as a man, you must really look good. And you guys, having gone through the training of Mr. and Miss, you probably have the consciousness of understanding this outfit matches with this shirt. Before I get out here, I can see the way you are dressed. It really looks fashionable, and I know it's a specific type of outfit here. So before you get fashion conscious about everything that you do, it means you had to get to learn about how to dress properly, which I feel is something that's not common among men. So what is your sound off on it?
It's true what he's saying, by the way. Men should really najua watu wanasemanga huku nje ati mwanaume unaoga tu na kipande hivyo unatokea uko sawa.
Yeah.
Those memes and stuff ati mwanaume usijiangalie kwa kioo, angalia hadi utoke. But no, you should actually invest in your skin, by the way. Grooming is necessary. Lazima you look good. Kwa sababu wadu you look good, you look confident, yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's expensive, yeah, but you should at least find a way to make it
to balance it,
to balance
and bring
it.
out, There's somebody who said it's a little bit feminine for a man to have a skincare routine because it means you're competing with what this lady is doing, yeah? When it comes to her, not bleaching rather, moisturizing her face, trying to lotion up and look her skin to glow, it also means that you as a man as well, you're going to do the same so that you get the same kind of treatment, yeah? Don't you feel it's a little bit off the hook? It's because of the modern day world, it's a normal thing now for a man to do that, yeah?
It's a normal thing, but you know, for men, naita kwa intense kama madem lazima you put makeup and stuff.
Right.
The foundation, the lipstick. For a man, unaangalia tu ngozi yako ikue line.
Yeah.
So it's for ladies it's intense, yeah. But for a man it's just simple routine. Ngozi yake ikue fiti.
Yeah.
Yeah, tena, you know, for the ladies, it requires a lot of investment. Number one, lazima ukwe na makeup. Lazima pia bado ukwe na lip gloss.
Yeah.
For us, it's just simple. Just take care of your skin.
Yeah.
Just look good. If you have evil, I think...
A short shower, that's what you're saying.
No. Basically, it's not like that. But, kitu kaa hiyo bado.
Oga tu, sindo?
Oga tu kaifiti, bora tu...
Na sabuni poa, sindo? So we're going to take a very short break, and when we come back, we'll be picking up the conversation with Alvin and Frederick in just a bit. Talk to us on the hashtag Why in the Morning, Y254 channel everywhere. See you in just a bit.
Y254. Imagine.
Komando, wambie sisi ndo vipenzi komando. Komando, wambie sisi ndo vipenzi komando.
Inakuwaje? Ni kila Jumatatu kutokea saa 1:05 hadi 3:30 ndio unafahamu sisi ni makomando wa Afrika Mashariki ambao tunakupa kipindi chenye mapozi, tunatazama na mapozi ya kwako. Wanasema kwamba you can call me Kenny at Kendrelby.
Wagwang, my name is DJ Kuch. Pale kwenye chiki na kupatia mziki zote za East Africa, old school, new school, zote ziko ndani. You can link up at DJ Kuch. Boom.
And of course with me, Kalondu Musimi, I'll be giving you all the entertaining stories in East Africa. Nitakuwa nikuambia nani amefanya nini, kwa nini na akiwa na nani.
Hatuagizi na mabosi, sisi wenyewe mabosi. Wanatobea mikosi, tunalindwa na sagodi peke.
的地上的呀雨点儿的呀流，哎呀地上的呀雨点儿的
Kuimbie Bwana, mfalme wa mbinguni, niimbe na zaburi, wananitea Baba.
Our stories shape our future. It's within them that we get to know ourselves.
God always came through in a way that we couldn't even explain.
Yes.
And we came to realize that putting God at the center of it is like everything else will just flow.
What do you do when push comes to shove?
He was a great man.
Yeah.
At that moment, he was supportive. Until 6 months, we went for the first surgery.
That's why here on The Nest, we tell you these stories to empower you and shape your parenting. Every Tuesday from 7:30 p.m. only on Y254.
This week on The Buzz, Joshua Poet comes through with some poetic pieces.
Coffee with a love. I don't deep know slice in coffee.
Selling Sunset Ladies are back with more drama and more stunning $1 million homes.
Have to solve problems. We need to be extremely aggressive.
It's true artwork.
We highlight the life story of actor Manny Montana.
From fans and people that I meet on the street, I really appreciate it.
Find out why Kenyan Jason Derulo charges $600K for a performance.
Hey, Giraffe, did somebody break your heart?
God have mercy upon us.
Let's catch up on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. with me, Eve Nyaga, for all the entertainment juice.
Usonge sana, hivyo hivyo.
Y254. Imagine.
All right, and welcome back. I'm Brian Sanko. We are still right here hanging out with Alvin and Frederick. Before we went on a break, we were talking to Alvin about, men that should take care of themselves. And Mr. Frederick here just jumping in and telling us it's not a bad thing for you to take care of yourself, yeah? But, for guys like you, you guys have competed or contested in Mr. Kasarania. Did you guys go through some sort of, let's say, training where you guys are conscious, or let's say you're aware of the outfits you should put on, so that you don't just appear out there? At least you look, well kept together and smart. And I tried to point it about your outfit. You have a glove on the left hand. The other one doesn't have a glove. A little bit confusing, but yeah. Are you fashion conscious or fashion trained?
Personally, about my look today, me, I think fashion, you have to be creative.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out to my designer by the Evident Paul Designs. He was dressing me today.
Right.
Yeah, I'm conscious about the fashion. Nikitu, yeah, mi na feel ukivaa nguo lazima uvae nguo hadi wewe mwenyewe uta feel confident, unaona? Kuna venye ukivaa hata kama ni mademu hivi unapitia hivi mbele ya mademu unasikia yenyewe leo nimedunga, unaona? Yeah, so yeah, tuna train yango kidogo, how to wear, how to bloom by the way.
Right.
Hadi kahea TV lazima ndevu hivi zitashanisha nywele hivi. Yeah, you have to look presentable.
Right. Yeah. Like for this outfit of yours, did you plan for it specifically to dress like this? Because you can see it's all black, yeah? With just gold, with the gold chain ensemble and the sash that also has golden-ish, details, yeah? Yeah. Did you intentionally piece up this outfit together? And
Yeah,
But the shoes are brown, yeah?
Yeah. So I was venye tu nimesema nilikuwa I was helped by my designer Viden Paul mwenye bado alichukua hiyo combo, the combination, which is good. I was actually planning for this. Yeah.
All right, let me jump on to you, Alvin. In this day and age, there's men who also try to borrow, some certain types, I'll say, is it fashion sense from women, yeah? But because there's a word called, what is the word? Unisex, yeah? The stuff, outfits rather, that can be both worn by men and women, and it doesn't really look like questionable, yeah? But then our parents, when you look at, the way our parents used to dress way back and how we do it right now, do you believe that, fashion has really evolved and men should start chasing the latest designs of dress codes as well? Because even also when I look at your outfit here, that is it half coat here? With a blue coat, with a blue shirt rather, and then you have a bearded lace necklace, yeah. That's really fashionable. Something that's totally different from way back, yeah.
So, actually, one thing I believe is that fashion is passion. Once you're passionate about how you look or fashion, you'll tend even to learn more from. Actually, information ziko open kila place. So, as for me, I normally check the trends from one of my mentor. He's called Jose. Jose, he normally teaches people fashion, men fashion. Yeah. So actually, from there, it's when I started having that style. Yeah, kama nafanya hivyo, I can also be a designer of my own.
Right.
Yeah. Normally, I do dress myself. Yeah, because I need to establish. Okay, my goal is to become one of the biggest designer very soon. And one thing concerning modeling, it gives us confidence. It's all about giving you confidence how you walk. Fashion is so broad because in fashion we will consider how you wear, your walk, how you present yourself in front of people. And also, even how you just coordinate yourself. Yeah, according to, let's say, Villa Silva, and it's good to wear. I prefer people to wear like vitu without brands, because mtu akiva stuff bila brands inaonyesha like kuna kale ka maturity rather than going for
like Versace, Gucci and the rest.
Yeah, I think hizo vitu size ziko outdated to me, according to me.
Right.
So one just should blend something simple. If it's a t-shirt, unaweza blend na kitu kama a funnel and a jeans, either black or blue.
Right.
Na your way itakuwa too best.
Yeah.
Rather than wearing hizi ma Versace sijui nini, hiyo inaonyesha style nyingine, like kuna a level of ukifika age fulani unaonanga like hizi trend kuna vile haingiani na mimi.
So you carve your own style, yeah?
Yeah.
But then on a normal ordinary guy, on a normal day, yeah, what should be considered as fashionable on an ordinary gentleman? There's a dude called the Dapper brother or the Dapper gent. Like, he has a combination of fashion outfits here, from coats, blazers and suits and whatnot here. He tries at least to teach men how to dress up. So who would you say, from your experiences, before I come to you, Frederick, is a fashionable man or a fashionable gentleman in terms of now their outfits daily on a normal day?
To me, there is this guy, his TikTok handle was Drip Lord. So for me, the way he blends things inakuanga so way better, because unaweza pata unajua sasa kuna official wear. We normally have official wear, tunakuanga na kitu kama smart casual na pia kitu na dinner. So for you to blend these vitu kaa hizi, kuna vile tu una style kucheki, kuna rules. If I'm wearing like a smart casual, I'll just rock in like a shirt, an official shirt, and an official trouser, and let's say kitu kama inatangaje, this This kuna wana ki jacket flani imekonga
puff jacket hivi
jacket.
Oh, puff jacket. Okay.
No, it's not a puff jacket.
Half jacket or half coat
trench
or something?
Trench coat.
Oh, trench coat. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You rock it with a trench coat. So and then like Air Force One. That's a smart casual.
Right.
Yeah. So lazima pia identify some rules. Like kuna vitu unastahili ku identify ndio uweze kujua this type of wear is supposed to be in this type of occasion.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Let me come to you, Frederick. Ukiwalk street, Ata says you on your way here, you saw people really dressed up, yeah? There's people who are going to work, there's people who are going to an event, there's people who are going to even a funeral, like all sorts of events. So would you recommend a man to specifically dress for the occasion, and how can they dress for the specific occasion? Like for you, you came on TV here, but you really look fashionable. Yeah? You came for a TV interview. Yeah? But what about an ordinary man out there? How can they dress specifically suitable for where they are going?
Of course you should dress for the occasion. That's very true. Kama mimi, for me, I'm a student. Siwezi enda class hivi, unaona. Kuna venye nitavaa nikienda class, kuna venye nitavaa nikikuja hapa. So depending on where you're going matters a lot, unaona. Maybe you're going for a wedding, unaweza piga smart casual kai yangu. Unaweza piga some.
Oh, this one says smart casual.
This is smart casual. It's more like a broken officials, unaona. Si ile suti kabisa. Nitago smart casual. So according to where you're going, huwezi kuwa unaenda the dowries, those are the knees, and then niko hapo umevaa tu kama streetwear, no. So according to where you're going matters a lot.
Still on your, are there maybe notable fashion trends that you've seen, especially in, I'm sure mmewachizi zinaitwa something like events like New York Fashion Week. Nairobi usually have the Ankara Fest. I saw one in Eldred here. Are there maybe notable fashion trends zenye ziko common among men in the fashion space? Yeah.
That is very true, and personally I'm not a big fan. I don't sifurahi venye watu kuna time tukio back then, I don't know which year, ulikuwa unaingia town unapata kila mtu na zile shati za moto, the flames shirts. Ilikuwa fashion, yes, but no, you don't wear things because people are wearing. Be creative in some way, unaona. Hata kama utavaa hiyo, leta ka creativeness fulani. So I do look at what people wear and try to be creative in my own way. Ika unique, that's the point. Hata kama unavaa what the trend that is at that time, be unique in some way. Huwezi kuwa unafuatana tu na look kila mahali, umeingia TikTok umeona hiyo ina trend, unaenda no. Be unique in your own way, be creative. In your journey of Mr. Training, Mr. Kasarani, did you go through a session where you guys were taught how to piece up fashion pieces together, especially shirts and shoes? Because I was seeing a certain montage somewhere that said black shoes should not be paired, I don't know with what, and then somebody said also let's say bright shoes or leather shoes that are bright should not be paired with black outfits, top outfits. Like they're trying to be extremely fashion specific on statements. Blue shoes should not go with, I don't know what kind of outfit. Did you go through that training, and maybe did it also help you to create a space where other men are also looking at you when it comes to now dressing well? We were trained a bit, but still a deep sana. Unajua hiyo yenye unasema it's some other level of fashion. Though in basics situongea le man mwenye tu wako huku nje. Let's say color coding. Huwezi vaa shati ya red, trouser ya blue alafu kiatu ya purple hivi. So hivyo venye unasema bright shoes and whatever. So I guess ukiona two colors, kama mimi have black and brown, that's not bad, but tena I guess it's the basics is color coding. Don't mix up your colors too much. But sasa yenye unasema it's some other level of fashion.
Alvin, for a person who's going to, let's say for example, who works at let's say at a sales shop, because when you're a receptionist up Mbele, everybody sees you, what would you recommend to them, especially for a gent, before we get to some of the red flags and mistakes men make in fashion, especially now the person who is at the front line of the office, that's front office department?
For me, for the people like receptionists, those people who normally welcome people when they enter in a particular institution, I'd recommend them just to wear something simple. They should ever see over exaggerate, because once you wear something good, by the way, people judge somebody by how he or she looks. especially men, because for men, everything is like a story. Viladi nimevaa, it's just people can judge me by how I wear, even before I speak. Yeah, so normally people judge people with how they look before they even say a word. So for them, since it's a very sensitive position, I'd recommend them to wear something like official. Or if it's something kama anadai kuva casual, he can rock in something like a plain shirt, a plain t-shirt, and an official and a jeans. Yeah, but mostly I'd recommend them to wear like an official.
Yeah. What are some of the red flags of, let's say, fashion misses that men do? You know, you're like, hey, if umevaa hivi bro, hapana.
To me, niko na vitu mingi sana. One, kuna this trend ilikuwa fashionable zamani, but squeezy, it's out of the marketplace. Number one, when you rock in like a skinny jeans, that thing is so imepita na wakati by now. Yeah. So we're not interested like in seeing vile umeshikwa miguu ama nini. Yeah, so for me I'd not siwezi recommend say like a rocking like a skinny jeans. Or also I don't touch squeezy pia. Sionangi ikiwa na that sense of fashion.
Outfit don't touch?
No, nilikuwa nimeketi.
Because I'm also, when you say don't touch and I'm seeing your part of the legs, I'm like, hey, okay.
Actually,
yes, and you're a little taller. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So don't touch and skinny jeans.
Skinny jeans don't touch. Yeah. What about extremely baggy? Because I've also seen it's like people now borrowing fashion pieces from way back, trying to customize them and make them modern. I've seen people with extremely baggy, it's like one piece of the trouser can fit in another person, but then it's one person in it.
Actually, unajua sasa vitu kama like you see the baggy things. Hizo stuff zilikuwa on trend zamani in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. The more we go, the more we revolve. So squeezy, like siwezi recommend. Actually, kama unataka kuvaa baggy, maybe lazima uwe na a sense like umepiga your own investigation on the top. Like the top must match with the jeans.
Right.
If you want to wear like a baggy jeans, maybe you should have like a baggy shirt. Lakini I do not recommend that one. Mimi naweza sema for you to be way presentable, you should take like a measure. So if mimi navaa this, like this shirt, it must be 1 inch bigger than myself.
In short, fitting outfits.
Yeah. I'd just recommend people to wear like fitting outfits rather than wearing the baggy ones. The baggy ones can look good on the ladies.
Yeah.
As compared to the men.
Right. Okay. That's interesting. But Alvin, for a month's budget to look actually really presentable and fashionable, it means you have to have some good amount of money. Yeah. Does it mean you have to invest in Mutumba outfits? Or you have to go to a boutique? Or you'll have to find an extra way of just, getting to buy this house? Because I understand men's outfits are really damn expensive, yeah? For a pair of shoes, I think if you want the best one that's really good looking, you can't get it with less than 5,000 at a boutique, yeah? At a men's show specifically. So how can men budget for themselves in a sense that you're not overspending to look good, you're balancing between the money that you have to keep your life going, but at least you still look good. Yeah, you still look good eventually.
I'll say it depends on your financial stability. But tena usiende bana uingie Kikomba unachukua tu vitu. You have to, if you have the sense of style, like you know what you want, you know what to wear. Maybe utapata a cheaper jeans, but itaendana na kenye unataka kuvaa. Maybe streetwear, you want to put on a specific streetwear. Unaweza pata jeans, maybe 600 hivi 500 a jeans ni nakafiti and some shirt. But now when it comes to being like official, kwanza tukiingia kwa official like the suits and stuff, that thing is expensive.
Right.
It's good to invest, at least kuwa na suit kadhaa moja mbili hivi ya samani. Ukisikia kuna place hivi unahitajika kwa official, you're not in a bad position. It's about your financial status, balancing yourself, knowing what you usikue tena uko ukipata maybe unaweza pata gig hivi uambiwe kesho kuja interview.
Yeah.
Na uko na tu zile ragged zako umejaza kwa closet unaona. So I'd say even if it is expensive, at least have one. Yeah, at least just invest in one.
To add on his
yeah, sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Official.
Right.
Actually, I have like a small secret whereby if you don't want to waste money,
right.
One, you can buy like some pair of suits, like tatu hivi. And then on it unaweza add like some few things kama so unaona if I am wearing the black suit,
yeah,
and I have like a white suit and a blue suit, I could be color
coordinating or blocking.
Yeah. So sometimes there's these, then we add like a white blazer,
right,
from the other
previous outfit,
yeah,
and
so
pair it up with a different one.
Yeah, so when I do like that, at least mtu azisema niko na nguo moja ama mbili,
right,
so it makes people you must be very creative when it comes to the wares you wear.
Right. I want us to shift this conversation to hygiene. In our morning presentation with my co-presenter, I just jokingly threw in how many men have more than 3 pairs of internal, outfits. My dad used to call them commercials here, but let's just call them boxers. That's part of your hygiene, yeah. But then when it comes to, let's say now, body hygiene, for men compared to women, it's a little bit different, yeah. And I tried to give an example of an ordinary guy in a place like Kibra, or let's say in the interiors of the ghetto. They don't care much about showering all day. Like you guys, you really look good and you're so cleaned up. But for a person in those interior, they only shower when there's a funeral, or maybe there's a wedding, or there's a church event, or a place where they're required to go there publicly. So for a man, let me start with you, Alvin. Do you recommend men to constantly, shower? And how many times should a man shower from an expert point of view of person who's been through the fashion space, yeah? Because body hygiene is really important. And then we can now even delve to now internal body parts that are required to be, cleaned, yeah?
Yeah. Unajua huku nje memes zinapoteza watu manzi. Na pia ati mwanaume ufai kuoga, no. As a man, at least once per day. Once per day. Tena usi overdo, utambi uko na umama. Unajua pia the society talks a lot. Si overdo tena unaoga asubuhi, jioni, once per day. Alafu si kuoga tu, like comb your hair, brush your teeth. Paka hadi kama mafuta hivi. So I'll say once per day.
Once per day, yeah.
Unajua kwanza mwanaume sweat kipiga siku 3 hivi inaweza nuka kitu kingine mbaya sana.
Yeah.
So even kuwa hadi na kakoloni hivi. Kuna zile kama ufiki bei unajua the expensive. Kuwa hadi ile ya kurefill jameni. After you shower, apply some.
Yeah.
So I'll say once per day.
Yeah. But that takes somebody who's really conscious about their physical hygiene, yeah. Because when you look at somebody like let's say just a dude in the ghetto who's just living life huko, I'm pretty sure you know the picture inakuanga huko hivyo. Kuona maji ni kama miujiza, eh? But at least once or twice. What about internal outfits? I'm calling them internal. Let's just use the word boxer. Because as a man, there was a conversation we had on a podcast, and somebody asked, as a man, how many boxers do you have? And how clean are they? And then there's a chick who chimed in akasema, right now, if you were to go on apartments, even right now as we speak, if you look at the number of outfits that are aired on the clothing line, most of internal outfits ama nguo za ndani is a madam. Hautaona actually, kama utaona ni tatu na it's like 4-5 hanging lines on that whole apartment. Why is it men don't like investing in the internal outfits, or boxers in other words here?
I wouldn't say we don't like investing, because I'm also a culprit in that.
Yeah.
Lakini unajua, number one, men were so masculine. Kwa hivyo ukipata maybe unakaa kwa ploti, kwenda kuyanika pale nje tena shukisha kidogo. So maybe you won't see them, but again, I don't know, again, you still bado kuwa na kadhaa. Najua wanaume tunakuanga na shida ya sector video. It's true, we have that problem about the boxers and stuff, but at least have several to take you through a week maybe.
Yeah, through a week. You know, you're mentioning for a week. Somebody said they had.
As in, no, not just one.
Or for a week, or several for the better part of the week.
Maybe let's say in that week.
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, something like that.
That means you invested a lot here in your internal, commercials.
Yeah, times are changing.
Yeah, but you mentioned the masculine parts. Yeah.
Of course.
I like how masculinity and hygiene. Yeah. But Alvin, how many should a man really have? Because also I'm looking at it right now, temperatures ziko like zinaenda high, zinakuwa low. You can imagine if you're in one piece of that for the better part of the whole month or even the whole week, it really can get you skin infection. Yeah.
Actually, for me, when it comes to like my internal hygiene, I normally take it serious. Because unajua, okay, most of the guys, the reason why unasema like ukienda maybe kwa shop hivi unaweza za madem ndio ziko hivi, because pia maboys kuna vile wanakuanga na kale kafia, unaona? Tunaenda kununua box ama
is it fear or shame?
It's shame.
Masculinity. I don't think that's masculinity. That's nowhere near masculinity.
I think for like a good number, nile wanasemanga, unajua most of them maybe if you have a girlfriend, most of them maybe unasikianga maybe dem yake ndo memletea.
Yeah.
Yeah, for that's unaonanga.
Oh, you're comfortable if your lady buys for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay. It's not bad. I agree. But yeah.
Okay. So like we don't for most guys, ni wanafanyanga because
ni aibu. But it's your internal hygiene. Why be ashamed to just buy a piece of outfit like anybody else? Is it because you'll be judged? Ama society has made it. As a man, you should not be out here doing these things because you really look, weird.
It's a contribution of society.
I'll say society, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because for the guys, not just society make guys kama people who are not supposed to be like well groomed, the watu tu understand, like society may create a certain picture of men that inaonyesha like men are not supposed to be like that they should not take care of themselves that much. So na ikiendelea hivyo inakuwa bado instill, it's like a system to also the other guys.
Yeah.
So wanaonanga like sometimes kwa nini boys si lazima nifanye hivi na hivi, unaona?
Yeah.
Because I'm not like si kama madem.
Yeah.
I think society.
But I think we have to change in that. It's
not a good direction. It's good as time goes by. Pia we need to change even
we need to work on that.
Yeah. What about showering? Do you shower every day, Monday to Friday, Sunday? Ama you can skip a day? I once interviewed some guys here. They said kuna mwenye wana shower Tuesdays and ame shower Sunday, ata skip Monday, I shower Tuesday. Especially the high school guys, yeah, because they're not sweating a lot. They're not sweating a lot, and then they're not physically engaged as compared to a person who's working. You're showering every day when you go to work, even if you're a man. But there's people who don't like showering, kabisa. It's part of your hygiene, yeah. Whether it's cold water or warm water, hapendi tu maji.
Unajua, like when it comes to that aspect of showering, it entails a lot of things. Number one, your hair. So
yeah.
If you like ukika without showering for a long period of time, you can get something called
you accumulate
dandruffs.
Fungus.
Yeah, dandruffs, and also you just smell very bad. Tena whenever you pass karibu msee, kuna vile you will create
a body odor.
An uncomfortable environment to the other people. So for me, I'd recommend people to bathe at least once or twice for the guys.
Once or twice a day?
Yeah, once or twice a day. This is because if you are like doing these difficult jobs whereby you normally sweat a lot, and then you are like physical engaging, physical sana. I think when is I could recommend woge like twice, but if you are not doing anything, you can just one shower is not bad.
Yeah, but there's showering and there's also a changing of internal outfits. You can shower and fail to change internal outfits and still smell bad. Or you can fail to shower, change internal outfits and still be fresh a little bit, but you still have body odor, sweat and bacteria.
Yeah, by the way.
So once you shower, you even shower with your internal outfits.
I think you should do both.
Because
it's kama zero work. Kuoga and then like your internal ziko tu hivyo.
Yeah.
So I think it's a zero work if you do one-sided thing na umeacha ingine. Because hata kama nimevaa, let's say nimevaa vest.
Right.
Na nimeoga and then nimevaa hiyo vest for like a week. What have I done? It's a zero, ni kitu ka zero work.
Yeah.
Because the
the sweat, the dirt
jumps,
and everything.
Yeah. It will just still accumulate.
Yeah. But also investing, Alvin, investing in good soap, Frederick rather, investing in a good quality soap that, you know, ranges from, because I was mentioning to you, I've seen this TikToker naitwa Mike Mushiri. He has Garnier products, skincare, moisturizer, the shower gel. By the time he's done, his skin is glowing, yeah? And it's now even common to see dudes on TikTok or Instagram posting about their skincare routine. And that you can see this guy has really good skin and it's glowing, yeah? But then also when you compare, let's say a person who comes from the interiors of Kakamega, hajui what is Garnier, you know, hajui what is Nivea for men, you know, anajua tu panga kipande. But then they have to maintain a good skin. How would you teach this info to this guy so that afike to this level like kina Mike Mushiri aanze kukuwa na skin ina glow? Because he ako used to kwenda kushika ng'ombe, kukamua ng'ombe, anakatamiwa. Ako na bruises all over, yeah?
Again, inamata pia na kenye unafanya. Uwezi niambia utatumia 1 hour kutengeneza sura yako na maybe unaenda mjengo, unaona? It also matters what you do, but simply kunywa maji, oga vizuri, paka hadi mafuta for basics, but ikifika sasa for
I like that combination. Kunywa maji, oga, paka mafuta.
maji kwanza
sounds affordable, like just take water, drink and then grab some Arimis.
But sasa ikiingia kwa commercial for people like when umesema models,
like for you sasa, let me use you as an example. How's your skincare routine rather? Let me say your hygiene process, yeah? From the bathroom to you stepping out of the house with your whole outfit looking like this. What is that process in between?
Ina haja tudanganyane, mimi kidogo sina gani, lakini I do try my best with the way my soap. Alafu I was told sabuni unatumia maybe let's say geisha, umeanza na geisha, don't change the soap.
Okay.
So kama umeamua ni geisha, oga nayo, ndio oga geisha vizuri. Paka mafuta hivi, some cologne. I love cologne. I love smelling good. Some cologne, paka cologne, angalia what you want to wear. Chukua tu hivi nguo kwa closet ushava.
Somebody is asking how many pairs of boxers should a man have really? And but in the intro, tuluna Costa wangu tukopesema there's people who just have one pair of shorts. Na hiyo ndo like it summarizes that part, your story really queenish, yeah. So averagely
that's so wrong. You can't just have
one pair of shorts.
That's so wrong.
Conda see boxer, it's
actually
a pair of shorts, yeah. So somebody's asking how many boxers should a dude have averagely?
Roughly 5.
5, 6. Mimi my standard ni for a whole week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Sure. You have all the sets. Your counterpart is like, are you sure?
I feel for a man, ufai kukua like ati watu huku nje, mwanaume lazima akwe na moja ama mbili, no?
Right.
Wewe mwenyewe lazima ufeel confident. Tulisema how you dress pia ambatana na confident. Siwezi kuwa niko na box ya jana alafu na anatokea mbele ya watu, nitakuwa zile like najishukushuku hivi na wakisikia na nuku, unaona? Yeah, so
but rarely people will somebody snoop and like be like unanuka kitu, you know, right? Unless people have
some 5,
yeah. And that could cover like the whole week, yeah. But I also understand Alvin, hygiene ya dem see the same naturally. Women go through a process for men, yeah. But at least there's that mandate here to stay clean, yeah. Go ahead, yeah.
So there is a question you've asked him.
Yeah, how many?
There is another one. Okay. You have asked him something.
About hygiene? Yeah, how many times to shower in a day?
The routine ya kuoga.
Yeah, the process of him like getting out of the shower.
I think when I remember, I'll just answer.
Okay,
but
go ahead. How many?
Something, you know, number one, once you are confidence, I think unaweza kumeva vizuri and yet hauna confidence. I think confidence is the deal breaker.
Okay.
Because if you are way confident, even hadi rock nini, you will be so comfortable in it. Actually, people judge you by your confidence, and then stand on angalia how umeva.
How you address.
Naweza umeva something way good, but kulingana vile nimejipresent pia kwa watu, najionyesha like ni kama niko na kale anxiety, nervousness, and that thing sets me aside from the rest in the room, because you know ushaikuwa in a place whereby msi ameingia until hadi namnam notice, because I think it's the confidence and the body language,
right?
So first and foremost, for the men, I think they should work on their confidence mostly, and then the grooming will come after the confidence, because once you're confident and you do anything, even what you're rocking, it will just make sense.
How many should they have? Commercials?
For me, I'd recommend roughly 10 to from 6 to 10. That's a starting point. If you are well concerned, if you are concerned sana na hygiene. Yeah, so that's my deal.
Yeah. But showering, you must say twice or once in a day,
Yeah. For showering, I'd recommend if you work unafanya kazi ngumu hivi, you need to shower twice.
Yeah.
Because once you bathe, unajua once mtu ameoga asubuhi, kuna vile kale ka feeling ya kuwa refresh na una feeling that way, unaona? And that's so the job. Na let's say unafanya baby kwa site. So unaona, you cannot tell me you are showering once na yetu umetoka kwa site. Remember kuna hiyo vumbi, kuna hiyo those darts nini, and you cannot sleep. And you will not have even a comfortable night's sleep, unaona?
But also accessibility to water is a thing. Wanafanya mjengo. Accessibility to water. Them and water, they could even be meeting water for the first time uko kwa mjengo, because when umetoka hata your piping is not there. So do you hold the opinion that just hygiene for men is a difficult thing? Like if you find a man who is dedicated to, staying clean, they're either into fashion, they have a job, or they're just consciously aware about hygiene in general?
Basically, for me, it's all about mentality.
Okay.
Yeah. If you are well, let's say if a guy presents himself well na anajiangalia poa, eventually east or west lazima he will take care of his personal hygiene. But there are also different type of guys. Kuna arrogant guys, kuna wale hawajali kitu, and then kuna these people who take care of themselves. But if you want to be outstand from the rest, to become the 1%, you must look good, and also
dress well.
Fanya piga hygiene poa.
Brush meno ndo tumesahau hiyo pa. I don't know if somebody has ever looked in your direction and they're like, you're almost exiting, but it's not your time to even leave, but you want to exit very fast. Amesema tu haya nianze, but you don't even want to look at them. When it comes to even now brushing your teeth, it means you have to invest, Alvin, Frederick rather, you have to invest in your toothpaste, you have to invest in a good toothbrush. But also when you look at the guys still from the interiors, the only thing anajua ni ile kijiti, right? That means you'll go an extra mile to ensure that you keep good hygiene, right?
Brushing your teeth, to me, is a necessity. Actually, you should brush your teeth twice a day. Asubuhi maybe na jioni ama even thrice, but sasa hiyo ni watasema tuko na umama, unajua bado tunaangalia society. But brushing your teeth, imagine kama there is a time nimeingia kwa mat, nimekaa hapa kando ya donda. I don't know, anajaribu kuniongelesha, and then kuna hiyo vundo from the mouth, from the shirt, the sweat. It was so disgusting. So kama ushayapenywa hiyo kitu, ukakuwa wewe ndo the person unawashwa hiyo smell, you wouldn't like to smell like that. Unaona? Kwa hivyo huwezi taka unaongelesha mtu anaangalia hivi kando. So
or somebody just yawned. Yawning is accidental. You don't prepare for a yawning.
Sasa imagine the whole room umeyona alafu atoko
everybody wants to exit.
So as a man, know your class simply. Hata kama ufiki bei ya Colgate jameni, tumia chumvi ama tulikuwa tutumia nini pale class 6.
Yeah.
Chumvi hivi kidogo ama
Yeah, salt,
fresh.
yeah. But the salt is a good ingredient for cleaning mouth, doing away with bad odor. So you guys can say your social media. Moja, ile yenye iko very active. Starting off with you, Frederick. Which one are you active on the most?
Instagram at Simply Freddy.
At Simply
Freddy.
Okay, Freddy.
Yeah, Freddy.
So, follow him ASAP. What about you?
As for me, my IG is Aikenika, and my TikTok is active pia. It's Vibe Alvin.
Okay. Both of you have a TikTok, and both of you are Mr. You are the first runners up, and he was the second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, did you win? You're the one who won, right?
Yeah, we all won.
Oh, you all won.
A win is a win.
A win is a win. And I appreciate you so much on that winning note. Thank you so much for coming through. All right, and also thank you for watching us from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. I and Stephanie, Karibun Sema, my Stephanie. I and my co-host Stephanie Ayeta will see you tomorrow bright and early right here on Why in the Morning.
Why do